What's a starting screen? I apologize for that. I apparently forgot to swap it around from the previous time I did a stream. The stream's not ending. We're only just getting begun. We're only just starting. And I'm only just starting to drink as well. How is everybody doing? I'm well aware you can't see my face just yet. I'll give that a minute. I'll just let people actually rejoin the stream after the swap over that happens when you go live. How are you beautiful people doing? I am having a great day today. This is one of the first times that I've been like super excited to do a stream. Like a lot of the times I enjoy streaming, but it's just doing some of these just random streams. I don't know, they're kind of fun. Like last stream was super fun doing that Vim Tutor video or that Vim Tutor stream. This time I think it's going to be a lot of fun as well. And hey, everyone here is here to join me along for the ride. Now I understand that no one watching this has any idea what's going to happen. That's because I don't either, because we're gonna wing this as we go. I've got a rough idea. But that's about as far as we go. Also, Ron, why are you? What are you doing? Your video started with an Uber advertisement. I don't control those ads, so I'm guessing that they just think you want to get an Uber. Hi from Bulgaria. Hello from Australia. And let's switch over to my face. Look, it's my face. How's everyone doing? How does it feel to have had a World War II baddie on the podcast? Who exactly are we referring to in this case? Hello! Hello to Spain. Hello to India as well. Let's see. Good morning from Denmark. Nice to start the day watching you live together with my morning coffee. Well, this isn't coffee, this is alcohol, but hey, it works basically the same. How you doing, Hum? How you doing, man? Is it cold out there? No, it's Australia. It's literally never cold. Like, cold does not exist in this country. Hello from Mars. Good morning from Twilight Town. I know Twilight Town exists in KH3 as well. I gotta play that game at some point. One day I'll play KH3. I don't know when. Probably on stream at some point. Oh, another person from India. How you doing, man? So, before we actually get into the main topic of the stream, I just want to follow up on something that happened in the gaming stream yesterday. So, I know a lot of you guys didn't see it, because basically no one watches the gaming channel, but we started talking about some new Linux headcanon, and I don't know how it happened, but a wiki got created. So there's this, where is it? This wiki right here. This is the famous Linux cryptid Super Sorcerers. It is a fandom page made to popularize the theory of Linux YouTubers being cryptids. I don't know how this happened, but so far Luke and DT are on here. I don't know why I don't have a page yet. I know you had some ideas for my page. Where is my page? Why is it not here yet? Get to work, mate. Get to work. Oh, you watched the archive. Oh, okay, cool. So let's actually have a look at Luke's page. I had like a cryptid is like, you know, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, things like that. Basically like mythological creatures. Yeah, let's have a look at Luke's. I had like a quick look at this, but I didn't want to read it until we're actually on stream. So, yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to keep this hat on because it's actually really, really hot. Because it's just like it's a wool hat. Yeah, and it's not exactly comfortable. Okay, sorry, it's comfortable. It's not exactly nice to have on when it's hot. It's not that hot. It's like 20 or so degrees. I don't know how hot it is actually. Let's find out. No, here's Bigfoot. It is currently not weather for a beanie. That's how hot it is. Oh yes, pretend like my location doesn't exist. Thank you. It is currently... yep, cool. My location does not exist. Let's dox myself with my weather. 24 degrees Celsius. So, you know, not weather for this sort of thing. It's 35°C. Yeah, no, God, I would not want to be wearing this during that. So here we go. Luke Smith is a Linux YouTuber and can you see it? You can see it. Yes, yes. Okay. Luke Smith is a Linux YouTuber and a famous Linux scripted super sorcerer. He has been theorized to be a Bigfoot by the creator of the FLCSS movement's creator and a fellow FLCSS fairy. His age seems within the range of the late 20s. To the normal human eyes, his real age has been theorized to be as long as 14 billion years. A theory of how he came to be involves him being a Bigfoot in a previous universe before. That is such a horribly written sentence. I noted. Yeah, you are in the stream. Fix this sentence, please. This is horrible. How you doing, Babbler? The equipment in the house, as well as the environment he seems to be showing in his videos, seem to be as old as the universe as well. Thus, it has been theorized that he used to kidnap people that used to cross paths with his jungle. With about 5 million confirmed hits, the equipment that he shows, as well as the house and environment, seem to be collected from the previous universe's missing people, one by one. He managed to build himself a house, a computer, get a phone, a mic, and a camera. His true current power is unknown. Brodie, are you or are you not bold? That's the point of the hat. You're not going to find out until later. Because, hey, I could have photoshopped it to be, like, a really bad Photoshop and actually be bold. Or I could actually be bold and... Wait. Or I could not be bold and it's just an entire trick. But you will not find out until later. Because that's what makes this fun. What's this puny garbage nonsense? This came about when we were... Well, when I was doing my Crystar stream. And, yeah, blame Mon Araj, he's in chat right now. He's the one who came up with this, so I did sort of encourage him, so I'm not entirely not at fault, but, yeah, and there's some music. You could have easily streamed bold if you were a VTuber. That is a fair point. I could have done that. So, also, Luke's gender is God, by the way, just so we're certain. Also, he's 12 feet tall. You are not bold? How do you know that? Why am I wearing a beanie? So you don't know if I'm bold or not. That's the big secret of this stream. Am I bold? Am I not bold? You have no idea. Yo, 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 how you doing? Debashish Mishra. That is very butchered. I apologize, but I have no idea how to say that. Let's see. Luke appears as a normal, bold, middle-aged man to the normal human eyes when in disguise. When in disguise. Disguiseless, he has the complete look of what we know as a Bigfoot, which seems to be the look he kept since the universe's creation. His true appearance has been teased by the FLCSS fairy to be a 23-dimensional being. Also, by the way, I am apparently the FLCSS fairy, so just so you keep your headcanon in line here. Made completely out of entangling tesseract lines with galaxies interacting with his outline. His brain seems to reside where our universe is. His brain... Wait. I just went back half a sentence. Which might be the reason why he exists here. He seems to have an all-knowing subconscious. Well, that was correct. You can call me Deb. Okay, Deb is much easier. It was theorized that him being Luke Smith would be a lie to us told by the government, which would explain a lot. One of the things it would explain is him hating video games. God, how long is this? This is way too long. When you said this was a wall of text, I see what you mean. This is definitely a wall of text. That is definitely one way to put it for sure. He also claims to have good knowledge of linguistics, which could be explained by him learning the words and speech patterns of several billion people that came across his jungle in the previous universe. His knowledge of Linux could be taken from the people he kidnapped, which could have used several of his Linux devices to defend himself from the grips of Luke Smith. Seemingly uselessly, the person takes the appearance of is unknown, so it is likely... I'm not going to read that. That's too long. Bigfoot has eyes, Luke Smith has eyes, therefore Luke Smith is Bigfoot. Yep, that's a fair theory. I can get behind that. So, the actual thing we're doing, not reading this wiki, because this is a mess. So, I don't know if you realize, but Luke has actually updated his blog. So, if you go to his blog right now, here we go. He's got a bunch of really weird articles on here because, you know, it's Luke, and he likes to write really weird things, like running a credit card scam, for example. But one thing I noticed is the new version of his website doesn't actually have links to all of his old articles. However, all of his old articles actually still exist and all still have links on his website. So, what we can do is go back in archive.org and actually go back and read some of the early articles on his site and just see some of the mad ramblings that is the man himself, Mr. Luke Smith. If you pronounce my father's side wrong, you can choke yourself. That's very mean. I don't want to do that. I do not joke around with walls of text. I can see that. That is one of the things you seem to be quite good at. Quite good at indeed. Yes, so let's actually go into the archive.org and see what we can find. Let's see. So if we go to lukesmith.xyz, you could just use his RSS feed. I could do that. That's boring though. That is not the one I wanted to see. You want to go this one? lukesmith.xyz. Storm.org for the win. Wait, that doesn't surprise me that exists actually. So if we go to this one right here actually. Okay, boomer. Who's the boomer? The guy who wants the RSS feeds? Yeah, Harmy's a bit of a boomer. So if we go to, say, this one right here. We can go to the blog. Wow, look at this old website. I love it. In fact, I think this was the best version of his website. I don't know why he left this and went to the absolute mess. The absolute mess that he has now. But, hey, it's his site. He can do what he wants with it. I would like you to read what he wrote about language learning later. It's interesting. If anyone has any specific... Wait. I feel like Brodie's volume is low. Anyone else or just me? I don't... It should be the same as always. You can turn your volume up. I guess I can turn my gain up. That's the only thing I can really do at this stage. Unless somehow it got lowered in Pulse Audio. No, it's the same as it always is in Pulse Audio. Okay. You're just watching one thing. Turn your volume up. If it's at 30%, turn it up to 40%. It'll be fine. The time is 7:43 p.m. That is the time. Yes. Anyway, let's go to the blog. Volume's perfectly fine? Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll just keep it as it is then. And switch it there so I can actually see stuff. Cool, cool, cool. Wow, look at this. Look at this. We have the technology. We can go all the way. Live chat is not showing? Live chat is not showing. That is correct. I'll fix that. That should be the exact same one that I had on the other one. Reload. Let's see. Is it going to work now? Maybe. Maybe not. It seems like it's not working still. Oh, no, it's working now. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you for that. We have the technology. Let's go all the way back to the start and see what we can find. I actually have no idea what's on here. It's like an absolute mystery to me. So, you know what? Let's just start from the start, and if we see anything that catches our eye, then we'll look at it, won't we? Yeah, I think that's how we'll do it. RuneScape's hidden site. let's go to the new Turbo Minimalist site. Also, this will happen every time we try to do stuff, by the way. Oh, it's a pretty normal blog, actually. Try say... What is it? NKHA. NKHA. I don't know what... Where do we even begin with something like that? What? NKHA. What website is this? This is Luke's website running on archive.org. That's what website this is. I've decided to severely trim down my website, not in content, but in frills. We'll see how this works out. If it does, I plan on keeping it this way with maybe minor beautification. At a surface level, my site is just going to be 2 main HTML pages, the main page and the blog and updates page. Sadly, this one is currently missing, which I've made automatically. This also includes RSS updates. One of the other things I've made use of is an Apache service capability to display directory content in and index page. Luke, I thought you were a linguist. What is this? Do linguists not know how grammar works? Mate, in and index page. Come on. Come on, Luke. Come on. I'm gonna be doing this all stream, by the way, so expect me to get worse as I have more drinks. You've probably seen things like this. See one of my you've probably seen things like this. See one of mine at talks. It's a perfectly valid sentence. In and index page. I don't think no, that seems wrong. Do I just not know English? Am I just dumb? This one was written, I think this is the oldest one on his website. I believe this was like 2018. You can also give these pages CSS descriptions to the files, which I've started to take advantage of. It seems like a much better way of organizing files on your site and making them accessible than doing it manually in HTML. I also recommend reading DT's page in my site. It's sort of interesting. To display directed content and in... No, this is the part I have an issue with. The rest of it's fine. The and shouldn't be here. This should be an. Drop the D and it's fine. Drop that D. I speak English like a native being a second language I speak English like a native being a second language speaker. I speak English like a native being a second language speaker. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is this content cop Luke Smith? Sure, we'll call it that. Why not? If Luke didn't use the internet a Uniboomer style, it'd be fun to have him on the stream while you roast him. That would be fun. Now I was talking about this on the game stream yesterday. Just imagine if Luke did a like a game stream. If he did something. The in does not refer to the index page. Also made use of an Apache service capability to display directed content in and... Shouldn't there be like a comma here then if it... I don't know. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, on the game stream that I had the other day, I was saying that wouldn't it be just absolutely hilarious if Luke did something like, I don't know, a League stream or just any sort of gaming stream? It would be completely out of character for him, but it would be the funniest thing, the absolute funniest thing that has ever been created. Because just imagine it. Just imagine what would happen if he did a game stream. What would he even talk about? What would people be asking him? Just imagine it with your brain cells. Luke play N64. No, that's fine. Luke playing N64, that's like boomer enough where it makes sense for him. No, RuneScape. Yes, I like that. Yes, he should play RuneScape. It doesn't matter if it's RS3 or, like, OSRS. Either is fine. Actually, I think that would actually be kind of hilarious. He should go, oh my god, he should find a forest and just do a regular video as if he's just in a regular forest. Or he could do it in Minecraft. Either way works. Either way would just be the funniest thing to ever exist. Make a podcast with Luke Smith. That'd be fun. Imagine Luke playing Hades. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine just what would happen. Anyway, let's move on and see what else we can find. Let's see. Is there anything else in May that's of excitement? Luke rants in a forest in Minecraft. Actually, just a title like that would get, like, probably, like, 20 or 30,000 clicks, wouldn't it? It doesn't even matter what he talks about. Just that title alone. Luke should make a character in Minecraft that just looks like him, so just use the default character. What are you talking about? When do you make a character? That's zero effort. All of these are fairly just boring ones. How I write accent knocks and IPA characters in Vim. Like that's cool and useful and all, but that's not what we want. We want some weird articles. Imagine Luke cranking 90s in Fortnite. I'm not sure what that means. Exactly. See? This is why he should listen to my brilliant ideas. You are bold today. I don't know. Am I bold today? You have no idea. You'll find out later, won't you? You'll find out when I get really sick of having this thing on my head. That's when you'll find out. Stream soon. How often does he actually stream? When was the last time he actually streamed? I know he's done like a couple of them, but I can't think of the last time he actually did one. It would have had to have been like a couple of months ago at this point, I reckon. I don't know. I've never even watched one of his streams, to be honest. I'm sure some of you guys have. What actually happens in a Luke Smith live stream? Enlighten me. Is it just like a week or two? Okay, I must have missed it. Okay. Oh wow, streaming in HD. Wow, he must have went to a pretty high class hotel to do that. Oh, this sounds fun. LOL Linux Fest. I want to see a Luke Smith versus Xehanort Boldman rap battle. For the first time in 10 years. Yeah, he streams from his car because he has to drive somewhere to get internet service. Couldn't he just, like, do it in a McDonald's or something? Like, does he have to be in his car? People give him money and he answers questions on Christianity or something. That makes sense. Luke gets Starlink. Would he even want Starlink, though? Isn't that, like, too high technology for him? Brodie, the back of your head itches a little bit, doesn't it? Are you feeling the sweat running down the side of your head? Yeah, I'm getting I'm angering the god, and I'm worried what's gonna happen to me. Also, hoomst. I love that word. I'm not complaining about hoomst not being a word. I just love the word hoomst. Also, hoomst lives in Georgia, presumably the US state, not the European country. I think it would be Actually, I think it might be a good time in Europe now. Yeah, it is a good... That's why I'm streaming now. Because it's a good time in Europe and the US. Starlink is a conspiracy theory. Can be a Luke Smith title. Yes, it could be. He bought a 3G thingy. Well, yeah, of course he bought a 3G thingy, but, like, if he could get a decent connection, would he take it? That is the important question. Or would he just accept that he's gonna be just using like the dodgy connection the entire time, can never stream from his house. Would he just accept the slower connection just for the sake of not having a good internet connection at home? I have a feeling that he would. Humpstv. 11 a.m. here. Yeah. That's cool. 10? Okay, well, you just lost an hour, apparently. Did you go through a time zone? Nice cap. Thank you. I got it from one of my old housemates. So let's see. LOL Linux Fest. I've been at Southeast Linux Fest the past 2 days. I'll probably do a full review later, but here are some of the highlights so far. My subscribers are not nearly as weird as I anticipated, and seem to actually be less weird than the average Linux user. I feel like a lot of you guys are probably in the same boat, eh? I know a lot of you guys initially did come from Luke's channel. Or, if not, came from there. I know a lot of the guys who've been here for ages did come from there, but a lot of you guys probably also watch Luke the rare times he actually does upload videos as well. So, I have a feeling we have a lot of crossover audience in that case. And I agree with this assessment. You guys are not really that weird. I don't know how weird regular Linux user people are. I think most of them are just kind of normies. Like, if you use Ubuntu and you just run, like, stock GNOME, I don't know, like, you're probably not... You probably haven't got the most exciting opinions. Like, there's probably going to be one person here that runs stock GNOME. I guarantee it. Now that I've said it, one of you guys is going to say, I run stock GNOME, aren't you? Am I less weird than the average Linux user? No, I think you're the exception, Hum. You are exceptionally more weird than everyone else. I should cosplay Luke. Give me a second. Oh, my stuff's falling over. Luke Smith is my favorite waifu. That's cool. There we go. Now I'm wearing sunglasses. You know, I like Luke now. This makes it really hard to see everything. But it does make it so my lights are far less annoying. Cinnamon is what life is at. That's cool. When you got up, we saw the back of your head. Not bold confirmed. How do you know I just haven't left like a little bit of my hair at the back just to confuse you? Maybe I've done that. You would be surprised at how much normies still get alienated by stock GNOME. Luke has done a gaming stream before playing... okay. Okay, that makes sense. Deus Ex. I think that's a fair game for him to play. But just imagine something modern, like as someone said earlier, Hades or League or anything like that. There were actually some girls at Linux Fest, although no obvious. I don't know what this 4chan talk means. What does this mean? 0AD, it is FOSS. Yes, 0AD is FOSS. I know DT really likes it. I think my audience is, if I recall correctly, 2.4% female. 2.4. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah, man. Who's gonna cosplay as like all the characters in Super Tux Kart? Gotta have your cosplayers. Probably. I know there's a couple. Oh, is that what that means? Oh, okay. Okay. Funny Luke Smith plays it. Wait, does he? Oh, wait, are you saying that'll be funny if he did? Oh, because yeah, it would be hilarious if he did. Women, that's just an Emacs thing, no? Am I missing a joke here? I don't know, maybe I am. Is V2 Brodie gonna have a scene in this movie? That'll see... We'll see about that, actually, maybe. Damn, you have a very high female relative to YouTube. Yeah, I don't know, maybe they like the beard or something. I don't get it. Or maybe a lot of you guys just like running female accounts. That's also very likely. According to Luke Smith, there are two types of Linux users. Ones who hate Windows, and second who hate macOS. So which one are you? If I had to pick... If I had to pick, probably I hate Windows. Why was my message deleted? Wasn't that what Luke meant? It's very possible that YouTube deleted your message, because I didn't delete it, and I didn't see a message deleted comment, so YouTube might have done it before you actually posted it. MX Women is a man page thing. Luke has watched Cowboy Bebop. That doesn't surprise me. That's like in the group of normie anime though, where like that's in the same group as things like Akira and I guess even Attack on Titan at this point, where even people who have no interest at all in anime will probably watch it. Women isn't Emacs. Oh right, yeah, DT did a video on that one, didn't he? And he made some funny title, some funny meme title. Yeah, that did happen, didn't it? I'm gonna take the sunglasses off now. There we go. Oh, that's actually really bright now. YouTube's been acting weird with comments lately. Yes, it has. Luke has also downloaded Ava. Okay. Oh, he didn't like it. Maybe it's too big brain for him. Maybe that's a very high possibility, ain't it? Oh, yeah, that actually is a thing that happened, didn't it? I don't think I haven't watched the video. I know that was in the thumbnail, though. Wait. Let's see. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, I thought I swapped over. Well, whatever. Zoom in. Zoom and enhance. Zoom and enhance. Look at this. Look at that face. Bottom left-hand corner. Look at that beautiful man. I did see the list of people he suggested are like really good channels, and I completely agree with everyone on that list. Like all of them are really cool people. I highly suggest everyone he mentioned as well. Especially Learn Linux. I've sort of known him since I started my channel. He is a pretty cool dude. He needs to like get his stuff together and rebrand his channel so you can actually like find it in the YouTube search. But apart from that, good channel. What were we doing? Right, we were looking at this one, weren't we? Yes. Watch End of Ava for the ice cream scene. Yeah, do that. I'm not gonna, yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on YouTube. Probably not. Actually, no, YouTube doesn't care. Like, there are like dildo rating videos, but if someone says, Unix porn, they may get their video demonetized. YouTube. Some boomer guy mentioned... Wait, No, I skipped this one. My talk was pretty crowded, standing room only. It also generated a lot of good discussion. I polled the audience, about half of them knew me, usually the younger ones. Wait, people showed up to a talk by just a random dude that they didn't know? Sure, okay. Ice cream scene, yeah. Exactly, the ice cream scene. You know, don't you like ice cream? Especially ice cream that comes from... male ice cream. Some boomer guy began to unironically interject to my use of the term Linux as I used it in the talk. That's beautiful. If there's any place where you'd have someone unironically interject about GNU/Linux, it would be at a Linux Fest. It would be at someone like Linux Fest, wouldn't it? I think there is a Linux conference in Australia. I've never been there. Usually it's in like Sydney or Melbourne. Last year though, it was online, and you know, why would you go to an online conference? You might as well just watch the VODs. Should I say that, and then I'm live streaming right now. I do appreciate all of you people for being here. That is cool. I wouldn't though. Not for this. This is a train wreck. But I thank you nonetheless. Let's see. Linux Fest was oh no. Here we go. I even had a very young fan, as in utterly prepubescent fan, besting even PewDiePie's fans in use, He asked me for an autograph and a picture. Well, that's sweet. I hope you gave him the autograph. And not just like, no, I am too famous for autographs. Linux.org.au. Probably that one. That might be the one I'm thinking of. But that's actually, that's just cool. The fact that there are actually some people out there who like Luke that much where they're like, I want this guy's autograph. That's just an awesome thing that happens. That's just, I don't know, it's one of the cool things about YouTube that just some random dude who rants in his woods, rants in the woods, can get to the point where people just around the world happen to know who he is. That's just cool. Those are from India. Their messages can get deleted due to the new law. Makes sense. Okay. I'm sure there's similar laws in other countries then if they exist in India. But gets his autograph steals his identity. Yeah, okay, if you're gonna... Okay, here's a bit of advice to anyone who, if you become famous, don't use your actual signature for an autograph. That's a really bad idea. like a genuinely terrible idea. Please have like an autograph signature. That's why everyone who does autographs does have an autograph signature, unless they're dumb, in which case they're probably gonna have all of their money stolen from their bank. Imagine giving someone your autograph and they just use it to sign contracts. Exactly this. This is why you don't actually use your real signature when you give someone an autograph. Popstar signature. Exactly, yes. Does anybody want Luke Smith's autograph? What about Brodie Robertson's? Hey, if I show up to Linux Fest, you guys better be lining up to get my autograph. Actually, I'd be happy if just one of you guys there just happened to know who I was. That would be cool. I don't plan to go to Linux Fest anytime soon, you know, because flight problems and all that. But maybe one day that would be fun, especially if they invited me. That would be really cool as well. If I ever met you, Brodie, I'd ask you to sign my Peckwell mouse pad. I will happily do that for you. That would be an absolute pleasure to do. Linux Fest was generally well organized, but there was some huge oversights. The rooms were only equipped to handle HDMI inputs. This basically ruined Michael Tunnell's presentation, which was right before mine and probably others, since they couldn't record from his laptop. Poor guy had to use some useless Chromebook, with its distinct lack of keys. Wait, with its distinct lack of keys, that should be, to try to preview Caden live. They couldn't record from mine either, but I'm not going to let that happen. So I just went Harambe Mindframe and connected the screen, VGA input, bypassing the recording rig, and recorded the talk on my own machine. This is something the speakers should not have to be worrying about. Or, right, okay, you could run a modern computer that has an HDMI output. That's also a solution. No, but they especially with how many Linux guys use MacBooks. I don't understand it. Or Linux guys, more generally Unix people run MacBooks. I guarantee there were talks at this Linux Fest where people were running MacBooks and running macOS, because that always happens. That happens anywhere that anything to do with Linux happens. There are always people running macOS. So having Thunderbolt there would be a good idea now. Actually, wait, do the newer MacBooks have, like, output over USB 3, USB Type-C? I think they do, maybe? He has a whole rant on his site about old computers. Well, we might get to that at some point, won't we? If you happen to know the title of it, we can go have a look at it now if you want. Let's see, people got a little peeved by the organizers, that's my fault. The organizer's keynote, because it went way over time, and then was followed by another talk that ruffled some vocal SJW feathers. Basically a critique of witch hunting codes of conduct. This is just what I gleaned from people, all of whom were really tired after a long day because I sat these talks out. Oh my god, you sat through all of the talks. You poor, poor man. Why would you do that? Anytime I go to any, like, conference or festival, I never, ever go to all of the talks. That is horrible. Most of the talks would be just disgusting. Organos, exactly. How English? Organos. I'm quite the proficient English speaker, as you can see. Anyway, it's been nice meeting all of you who have had come. Again, I might do a video update after the whole thing is over. That's a nice, sweet article, isn't it? No, I think he didn't go to the talk. On April 1st, have your camera accidentally point down on the MacBook you were using. That would involve me having to borrow someone's MacBook. Oh, he did do a review of Linux Fest 2018. Oh, that's cool. The talks. Oh, he didn't go to the talks, but did I read that wrong? That would make a lot of sense. I can't read. And this entire stream is about Brodie trying to read things. Maybe it just means he went to some of the talks, and I just over-extrapolated it. That's very possible, ain't it? Video on GIMP basics. First image magic videos. What is this about? What RSS feeds do you subscribe to? Mainly just the ones I use for Reddit. Oh, okay, they're just basics of image magic. Okay, I thought he was going to talk about, like, how he did older videos and they weren't very good or something. Brodie, just remember how you got into Linux. This guy right here, basically. A lot of my my early Linux stuff sort of came from discovering channels like Luke and DT, Chris Titus as well. At the time, Chris was doing a lot more Linux stuff than he's doing now. And yeah, a lot of that stuff sort of like caught my eye. And I decided to eventually try it out. And now we're here. Now we're doing a live stream where we're reading a blog and I'm drinking. So what a journey it's been. I've only been using Linux for about the age of my channel, so yeah, I don't know, it's still been a pretty short journey, but we'll see how long it goes, won't we? I don't know how long. Maybe. Maybe? We'll see how long, won't we? Okay. Consciousness what is this word? Bicamerality. I don't know what it means. I'm not big-brained enough to know what that word means. Bicameral. What does that mean? Having oh, a legislative body having two chambers. What? Okay. That's an interesting title for a article, ain't it? What mean word did he use? Blank out the vowels. They are probably filtered by YouTube. After a good bit more reading, I've given up on Hamlet's Mill, and not lightly. I usually view it as kind of a shame to stop reading a book before finishing, but I frankly don't feel like it's worth it at this point. The book is far too wow, this is gonna be hard. Circumambulative to actually communicate its deeper point. Am I just dumb? I think I might be dumb. But I get the feeling that it's way out of a desire of the author's part to avoid criticism with lack of clarity. From what I from what I gather after reading several hundred pages of deep, dank, quasi-poetic prose, I don't know. It's a general argument that many classic mythological stories, those stories in different cultures that Hamlet is based on, are a kind of folkloric embedding of knowledge of axial precession, the fact that the Earth's axis wobbles every several tens of thousands of years. This point is only alluded to or barely said, and only very circumstantial arguments are made of it at the request of readers to squint their eyes to blurry the argument to make it sound more convincing than it really is. That is the most... I don't know what he's trying to say there. I have no... These are too many big words here. I don't understand this. You're referring to Jane's theory of bicameral mind, which he did a not relate. Ah, okay. He called the gurus of our company, who are the backbone and work overtime freaks, which are leftover habit from the 90s in Germany and has no negative connotation really. Well, you've been using Linux for over 5 years. Wow, that's impressive. That's genuinely impressive. Okay, this article's not as entertaining as I thought it was. I don't understand half of what's being said. Let's get back to this. Let's see. Oh, in defense of pseudoscience. Oh, let's find out what this one is. God, okay. If you keep up with my random asides in videos and elsewhere, you might know that I'm extremely disappointed with the current state of institutionalized science. The post-war era was a disaster for scientific epistemology. Jesus. You should have your own blog too. I should do that, shouldn't I? I've considered it and just never actually got around to starting it. I've like written a couple of blog posts on places like Minds, but doing like a consistent blog is just something I've never really gotten to doing. Like with having my website, I've been considering doing that for quite a while, and I just never got around to starting that either. One day it'll happen. I don't know when. I have absolutely no idea when that'll happen. Luke's just flexing his vocab. Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. The world needs more anime review blogs. Oh god. Is that gonna be how I become an AniTuber, just by making a blog? Sure. That can work out, I guess. I guess we can have a 4th channel. If you want to write some blogs, you can use some script Luke wrote for lightweight blogs called LB. Yeah, he's done a couple of videos on that in the past, hasn't he? I can also use something like Jekyll LRB. Jekyllabu? We'll go with Jekyllabu. Yeah, I like that instead. Academia became an enormous state-funded enterprise, and the best way to ensure that your research program got funding before your rivals was to develop advanced reasoning to exclude their methodology altogether from science. Thus the term pseudoscience in former centuries... Thus the term pseudoscience. In former centuries, there was no such division between science and pseudoscience. Researchers wrote tomes on subjects that were amalgams of hard analysis and what we would now consider baseless or unwarranted speculation. Each were understood for what they were. All ideas were on the table for analysis. I think I see where he's going with this, actually. How many beverages do you even have at your desk? My man just keeps sipping. I've got another 3 more here. They were on sale. They were like $10 each. Do you go through his art? I think that's like a modern one. I think we have to like... Yeah, we have to go like to the future to find that one. We will do that in a moment. Let's go through the... If this one starts to bore me, then we'll do that. Okay, where are we at? The thing is, all academics, at least all remotely intelligent ones, quietly harbor fringe beliefs. If you push any of them in private or with vindicating evidence, they'll quickly bounce to support their deeper intuition. One example that comes to mind is geologist Robert Schoch, who, after a little empirical prodding, became a vocal supporter of the idea of a prehistoric dating of the Sphinx. Oh yeah, I've definitely heard about this one before on Joe Rogan's podcast, because that's where you go. That's where you go to be super big brain. And then later on, Mesolithic civilizations. Nowadays, he brushes shoulders even with ancient aliens crowds, and why shouldn't he? Once you've earned the designation of pseudoscientist, you might as well go full bore and have fun with it. Oh, how you doing? How you doing, man? Vindicating. Did I read vindicating wrong? I am dumb. The other best kept secret is that, by definition, pseudoscience drives advancement in real science. All new ideas start out as baseless speculation. Alfred Wegener, that's Wegener. I don't know what the correct way to say that is. I'm gonna go with Wegener. The continental drift based on the trivial and childlike realization that South America sort of fits into Africa was mocked as pseudoscientific by Americans for decades. Now it's science. I wouldn't doubt if shock sphinx water erosion hypothesis will similarly be vindicated, partially by the Mesolithic constructions found since then. Did you go bold? Potentially. I can't answer that question. You will find out in due time. When in due time? I still haven't decided yet. At some point in due time. I'm sort of adjusting to the fact that my head feels like it's on fire right now, having this on when it's 24 degrees Celsius. So, maybe you'll find out later. Maybe you'll find out in 5 minutes, and I'll just hate having this thing on. But you will find out. In linguistics and archaeology, we have a recent pseudoscientist in Maraja Gimbutus. Gimbutus unearthed many female idols / dolls from pre-Indo-European Europe and jumped to far-reaching pseudoscientific conclusions. Old Europe was a feminist utopia. There was no violence and complete harmony. That's an interesting take. The past is great. Everything was great in the past. No bad things ever happened. Because Gimbutus' politics were socially unassailable, you don't hear pseudoscientist around her much, but that's certainly the word on everyone's lips. If pseudoscience is what Shock is doing, it's certainly what she was doing. Regardless, this pushed her into making specific claims about the origin of Indo-Europeans, that they originated from the Kurgan Yamnaya culture, a claim that has now become consensus due to further archaeological, linguistic, and nowadays even genetic research. Can't you just vent your scalp from the back by lifting the beanie slightly from behind? I can do that. Wow, I could do that, can't I? That's a very, very good idea. I should have done that. Wow, that's much better. That's so much better. Thank you. Thank you for explaining how a beanie works, because apparently I don't know. Finally just wrote mental outlook page. Oh, you're actually working on that as we're doing the stream, are you? Okay, that's cool. I'll check it out later. I've seen firsthand that there are really two types of personalities in science. On one hand, there's the conventional and petty academic who is detail-oriented and rigorous in some sense. That means religiously adherent to theoretical priors. These people will only fight for something that they're on the side of consensus, or when the issue is of no social importance. On the other side are the pseudoscientists, or in other words, the people who actually have something interesting to say. Back at this point, Luke seemed to have, like, a fairly good grip on reality. He seemed like he was, what's the word? Still fairly down to earth. I don't understand a word exactly. I don't either. He seemed like he was still fairly down to earth and wasn't going off writing his articles about, you know, running credit card scams or veganism and bugmanism. So let's go to the future and see what we can find, because I think as much as going from the past is going to be fun, I think if we go to the future and have a look at some of the recent articles, we might find something kind of amusing. I like how you're talking as if he went mad. Well, I think less that he went mad, more that he decided that he's just not going to care anymore, and that he's just going to talk about what he wants to talk about. I think that's a fair assessment. Rather than being like, I am going to be a proper academic. At this point, he's like, you know what? I'm going to write articles like like this one right here. Ripping off credit cards. Or, veganism is the pinnacle of bugmanism. Articles like that. Have you read Real Programmers Don't Use Pascal yet? If not, do it right now on stream. Should I? Should I do that? Is that going to be fun? I feel like I should read about Bugmen first. I feel like that would be more fun. We're going to do that. And then maybe we'll do the other one. Let's do that one first. Yeah. Here we go. But he was clearly disenchanted with academia. Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. I understand why. Judging by what I've seen while I was at uni, yeah, I can understand why you'd be disenchanted by it. Okay, how long is this one? Oh my lord, this is long. Okay, let's go. It's gonna be very much fun, I promise. I don't believe you, Hum. You also think that, like, reading the Player 9 docs is gonna be fun. People have quoted me as saying that I forget where it comes from. Wait, people have quoted me as saying that I forget where it comes from, probably a live stream, but I definitely stand by it since a lot of people labor under the assumption that my channel is about Linux. Yeah, I don't think anyone at this point thinks his channel's about Linux. I've accumulated a lot of subscribers that are variously nerds, furries, degenerates, coomers, libertarians, communists, trannies, and among them are vegans. Yeah, I can see why. You know, his title's a meme, but he makes good points. Exactly. Occasionally he does. And you know, everyone lives on 4chan. Everyone lives on 4chan. Even if some people don't want to admit it, there's all kinds of people on 4chan, and all kinds of people on 4chan watch his content. Rewriting Brodie's thesis in LaTeX livestream when? Why would I rewrite it in LaTeX? Why would I rewrite it in LaTeX when I wrote it in LaTeX already? There's a stereotype about vegans that they're annoying and can't talk about anything but veganism. This hurtful stereotype comes from the fact that it's true. Oh, Lord. Yes. Now, what I've found is people who hate vegans talk about vegans more than vegans talk about the fact that they're vegans. You know that someone really hates vegans when they write articles about how much they hate vegans. I am vegetarian. That's cool. I was doing keto for a while. I did it on Overleaf because I was working as, like, it was a group thing, so, rewrite the Communist Manifesto in LaTeX. That's an idea. I'm sure someone's already done it. Firstly, what is bugmanism and how do vegans fit the bill? Long story short, a bugman is someone who rejects the purpose and role of humans in their natural environment. They reject tradition, religion, their family, gender roles, the expectation that a person should contribute to their community, etc. They might do this for their personal convenience. Usually they just want to coom outside. Usually they just want to coom outside of marriage. Okay, I was right. I should have gone to the future earlier. Oh my lord, I love this. This is great. Do not think I eat backyard grass, but I like lemongrass. Lemongrass is good. Not by itself. But if you use it like a seasoning or a garnish, I guess. To be fair, that happens with many channels. For example, Lewis Rossman went from board repair videos to rants against the Apple machine to random observations of life of a small businessman in New York City. I'm a vegetarian now. I've tried all sorts of meat, though. I don't think anyone starts as a vegetarian. Most people sort of decide that later in life. There are, like, exceptions, but I feel like most people are in the same sort of boat that you are. But yeah, Lewis has done, like, all sorts of videos. At this point, I don't know what his channel is. He just turns on the camera and talks about whatever he wants, which I think is that's a great position to be in, where you can just make literally any video and people will watch it. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Migration is natural for YouTube. Migration of content or migration of, like, viewers? Because usually most people who start a channel, they have, like, a niche they're in, and if they move out of that niche, then usually a lot of the audience they have doesn't really follow them to where they go. I did start vegetarian. Indian parents are strict. Okay, maybe India's different. Let's see. If you want to sum up the esoterically evil goals of modernism, Lewis was always a bit of whatever channel. His Border streams always had fun rants. Yeah, that's true. If you want to sum up the esoterically evil goals of modernism, or whatever you want to call it, it is destroying the countervailing power of tradition, and in its place, new social engineers attempt to dictate human values top-down. If you separate people from their families, their races, their traditions, and who they actually are, you can engineer TV shows, sports teams, activist movements, and a million other things for them to identify with and worship. Modernism pretends to liberate people from arbitrary traditions and authorities when in reality it substitutes natural emergent morals with controlled authorities. Basically, I think what he's getting at here is that you said to be drunk, by the way. I don't recommend reading Mental Outlaw page with such a state. Is quite mind-boggling. I'm gonna do it anyway. I think what he's getting at here basically is that the idea of modernism is to replace the existing traditions you have with new traditions because these traditions are supposedly better because they're new. I think that's roughly the point he's getting at right there. Vegetarianism and veganism are one thing, but I unironically got berated for eating 6 sandwiches with meat at a company breakfast, being told I was disgusting. That's odd. Why would that happen? Meat is good. I like meat. I like meat in my mouth. You can take that out of context if you want. I did only home and donation page. I don't know what that. Well, I don't know what's in context to. Let's see. Veganism has always been the most radical examples of this logic. Esoterically, veganism forces one to abandon not just their own traditions, but every human dietary tradition, and leaves them at the wind of processed gains and pharmaceutical supplements for meager survival. While you can do a full natural, like, vegan diet, the vast majority of people I know who do it do rely on like taking supplements for most of their meals, or for most of their vitamins they're missing. Rely on taking things like the fake meat. I don't understand the fake meat thing. Like, if you don't want to eat meat, that's one thing. I don't really care if you want to be vegan. The fake meat thing is a weird trend I'm not understanding. Because it doesn't taste like meat. It doesn't. I don't know what it tastes like. It's like a weird, very weird creation that I can't understand. I can't describe it. I don't know where. Like, how would you even describe the fake meat thing? Death? Yeah, we'll go with death. On an unrelated note, in the chat, I am genuinely curious, what percentage of your channel's viewers are from India? I think it's actually, like, pretty high. I'm not sure specifically in the stream. But I think it's pretty high in the channel generally. Let me find out. I will tell you. It is currently... Let's go to audience. It is the second biggest demographic. The first biggest is US. So it goes US at 20.8%, India at 7%, then Germany 6.5%, United Kingdom at 5.6%. I didn't realize it was that high. It's pretty weird, actually, that it's like that. I think because... Is my upload time, like, good for India or something? That could be it. Maybe a lot of Indians like Linux. I don't know. That could be it as well. Fake meat tastes nice, just not like meat. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I don't know what it tastes like. That's the thing I'm getting at here, because it's usually made from like really weird soy combinations, and it's a bizarre thing. Fake meat is disgusting. There's so many good vegan meals you can cook without the fake stuff. Exactly, yeah. same with doing like keto, for example. Like, you can do a fully like natural keto diet. It's just a lot of people who do keto end up eating a lot of the like keto junk food. Okay, I'll see afterwards if we can get to the 2017 one. I don't know if the 2017 one has been archived though, so we might have issues getting that. Geez, what? Where did all these extra people come from? Did a country just wake up? Good morning. Good morning, I think, Germany? Hello, Germany. You left your keylogger open? Well, okay. Can't fix that now. Okay, we'll finish the Bugman article, and then we'll have a look at 2017. Mushrooms and cashews are commonly used for fake meat. I think the Impossible Burger uses beets. Okay, that makes sense. Good morning, Germany. Or, sure, okay. I think also the, like, we're almost up to 50 again. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Let's see. That is, veganism is highly disruptive. You can't have a normal life. You can't have a normal meal. You can't wine and dine with people. You must make it an affair. You can't use traditional handmade leather products. You can't hunt or trap for food or raise animals even for eggs. Now, this is where I'm going to disagree with Luke. It depends on how you actually take veganism. It means, like, what I mean is, like, if you're going to take it as a dietary approach, or if you're going to take it as a lifestyle. I do know people who are vegans only in what they eat, but then they don't really care when it comes to, like, you know, using leather products, things like that. So I'll disagree with that point. I don't think every single person who is a vegan is in this same boat where they are just using, you know, I guess, animal supplement products. Some people are just doing it in the food category. I see Hum-kun is a weeb too. Hum is a fake weeb because he's trying to, like, annoy me or something. There are a lot of different fake meats. I think you're going for the environmental factor of not eating meat. Then just eat lab-grown meat, as it's just meat made from bacteria. Lab-grown meat is a really weird one. Because that sort of removes the entire moral question of whether veganism is a good idea. Because at that point, you're not actually eating anything that has, I don't know, if you'd like to describe it as like a soul, if that's the approach you want to go for, or I guess a life, if you prefer to go with like the sort of like atheist approach. That's something that I think is going to change how people approach it. But there'll definitely be the people who are just like, I don't like meat, so I'm just not going to eat meat, which is fine. You live in a modern society where you can do that. If that's something you want to do and waste your money on really expensive food, you can do that. Hum Oni-chan. Oni-chan? There you go. On every point, you become more reliant on macro society. Vegans try very hard to give off organic vibes, but it's just a lie. Even people on the internet who advertise their vegan lifestyle spend hours processing a basic meal, and of course pre-digesting indigestible plants with a blender. Try and find a non-urbanite vegan in real life. They exist, but they're an aberration. Well, the ones that exist are the ones who, like, I think you can just fairly call them, like, hippies at that point. The people who live just completely off the land and only eat plants. I think that at that point you can just call them a hippie. That Oni-chan was enlightening. I hope it was. X-Men is a bad window manager. You can't change my mind. I am correct. The LARP of vegan for health. Vegans sometimes pretend to advertise veganism because it's allegedly healthy. This is just public relations. Any true vegan, when you really pin them down, thinks that veganism at its core is a moralistic belief. Vegans are vegans because they believe that not being a vegan is morally deficient, killing such eating animals, and using their bodies is bad. That's it. As I mentioned earlier, I don't entirely agree with this. I have a feeling that Luke has never actually met a vegan. I think Luke has literally, like, he's only met vegans, like, on the internet. Because there are definitely people like this. Like, absolutely. There are 100% people who are just like, if you use leather products, you are literally the devil. And if you even breathe near an animal with bad breath, you are literally the devil. But I don't think everyone fits into that camp. And there are definitely health reasons why you might want to do it, but it's sort of the reason why veganism is healthy is the same reason why any diet that is better than like the terrible diet most people have is generally going to be better. True, but X-monad is pronounced X-monad, so that's why. Am I saying it wrong? Are you bullying me? I think you're bullying me on the internet. I'm gonna call my lawyer. I am considered a vegan if all I eat is the sunlight. No, at that point you were a, I guess you'd be a breatharian at that point. Yeah. Breatharianism, rise up. All the breatharians in the chats, just raise your hands. If you don't know what breatharianism is, that's something you need to find out. So you have your moral principle and run with it. What magical force that is then is making that moral principle necessarily good for your health? If veganism were actually a good diet for humans, that would be actually a massive coincidence. Vegans for health have to grapple with the bizarre claim that meat, exactly the food has been viewed in all human cultures as superior and more desirable, is somehow nutritionally deficient. Yes, exactly. Thank you, breatharians. I knew some of you would be here. Is your lawyer named Phoenix Wright? Yes. Well, yeah. Most diets are probably better than what most people eat. Like, if you're not eating McDonald's, most things are better than McDonald's. So if you are eating McDonald's, most things are better than McDonald's. Like, regardless of whether you're doing, like, a carnivore diet, you're doing a vegan diet, vegetarian, keto, most things are probably going to be better than just, like, I'm going to eat McDonald's, and I'm going to eat burgers, and I'm going to eat all of these other things that are really bad for you. There's some argument to be made there. Whether it's actually a healthy diet relative to other diets is another question entirely. Well, he's at various universities over years, so I think you probably know a couple of these people, just not well. I think that could be true. We have a different veg menu in MacD. Half is veg. I kind of want to see what, like, a vegetarian McDonald's menu would be like. Maybe I'll have a look at the Indian McDonald's menu afterwards. Most things are better than Wendy's. McDonald's sponsored by Wendy's. Okay, yeah, Wendy's isn't great either. I do like Wendy's though. It's pretty good. The weirdest thing is when veganism is held in opposition to the standard American diet, as if the American diet somehow represents traditional or non-vegan diets. The SAD is just vegan light. SAD is a post-vegan invention of the diet industry takeover. The past decades has been leading people into the most harmful parts of vegan diets. Unstable plant oils, processed grains as meat substitutes. The pop cultural idea of health is simply being skinny. Does Luke know what the standard American diet is? I think he might not know what the standard American diet is. Tell me if I'm wrong here and I'm just misunderstanding this. Let's see. Veganism is great at making people skinny because it is slow-moving starvation. I've met some carbo-loading exceptions who fatten up. Yeah, there are ways you can carb load with doing vegan diet. Well, that's actually really easy because you just eat lots of rice. Veganism is just to starvation what waterboarding is to drowning. If you stick with it, you'll eventually die, but it's so painful in the meantime, you'll probably give up. Okay, I agree generally with this, but I think he just doesn't know what the standard American diet is, because the standard American diet is usually defined as, you know, meat and burgers and things of that nature. That's what that means, which is far from vegan light. Like, it's not a traditional diet in any definition of the sense, but it's also not a vegan light diet. It's the furthest thing possible from vegan. Generally, it's every meal has meat in it. I don't know how that's a vegan light diet. I don't understand. American food is very bad. I think there are bad examples of American food. Like, you know, the pizzas where it's like you have like an entire bucket of stuff on it, and you have like it's the deep dish pizzas where it's like 3 inches thick of base. Like, that I think is a bad example of what like American food can be. When you get into like the fried chicken, there is some really good fried chicken that America does. Just like with pretty much any country, you can find some really bad examples of what the food you can get there is. American food is nice, but quantities are ginormous. Exactly. That is why I like American food made in other countries. How are you doing? Himanshu Shukla. I'm sorry, I can't say your name. How you doing? Let's see. Veganism is rational. I'm not sure. I think what he's getting at is that all processed food made with corn byproducts. Yeah, that I understand. Yeah, a lot of that part I do get. But calling it like a vegan light diet doesn't really make sense. The idea that the standard American diet is full of like processed foods, though, if that's the comparison he's going with, I can understand that argument there. Let's see. Vegans are exceptionally rational in what they adopt that they adopt the moral framework of modern society and follow to its logical conclusion. When you're given for your acceptance some inane religious platitudes like equality and rights, along with vaguely Marxist notions of exploitation and slavery and oppressed classes, it seems perfectly reasonable to explain that language to the relationship between predators, humans, and their prey, many animals, and maybe pets too. Don't hate on my nuggies. Welcome to the show, Mr. Donald Fury. You like to say our names? I can't say your name because I don't understand what those symbols in your name are. Yash, and I can't remember how to say your last name. Yash, some, Agawal, I'm sorry. Based, cringe. Please don't eat your pets. You did say my name right. Okay, I just said it in the whitest way possible. Good to know. If you're raised in a time of extreme moral nihilism, except, do you have a Brave affiliate? Yes, I do. Yeah, I do have a Brave affiliate, so if you want to give me your magical internet money, you can do that on my YouTube channel. You don't have to, you can keep your magical internet money yourself if you want to. But I will happily relieve you of your currency if you would like to give it to me. If you're raised in a time of extreme moral nihilism, except for not liking the several historical events you're told that matter, obviously you're going to glom onto what looks like them chickens in chains and sheep being led to slaughter like sheep to slaughter. Sheep being led to slaughter like sheep... Wait. Obviously you're going to glom onto what looks most like them chickens in chains and sheep being led to slaughter like sheep to slaughter. What? Is this just a really weirdly phrased statement? You're basically just like repeating what you're saying twice. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Basically veganism is liberalism with communism extended to animals. I think if you take it to the take it past just a dietary approach and take it to like a I guess a lifestyle approach as well. Honestly, veganism by their logic might not be far enough. There is some circumstantial research to the effect that plants have nervous systems that might feel pain as well. You could go one step further and simply eat nothing living. This word of ancient Thrace refused to eat anything alive, eating only byproducts / foodstuffs like milk and honey. I don't think anyone who's a vegan would agree to eating milk and honey, especially with the way that most milk is sort of gathered now, done through like factory farming. And honey, you know, the bees and all that. The bees gonna die. The something also refused to have sex, which might be something to consider since vegans eventually lose sexual function anyway. Is that a thing? Is that a thing that actually happens? You can run from real programs, don't use Pascal, but you can't hide from real programs, don't use Pascal. I don't know, is that the case? Probably. I think someone's probably made that argument before. I have a friend whose last name is legit Agnihotri. Is that a joke in Indian that I don't understand? I don't know. Maybe. It could be. I'm vegan, I'm fine. That's cool. I don't know. Maybe you'll die. That's the direction Luke's going with this. Losing sexual function so I can become a vegan because I have no use for it. Yay. But don't you want to be a Kuma? Veganism only makes sense in a bugman environment. Ask a vegan why he doesn't eat eggs. He will probably tell you a spooky story about how terrible it must be for a chicken to live in a coop laying eggs all day. That might even bring a tear to a sentimental person's eye. Nah, I've had chickens before. Chickens are little devils. They don't care about anything. Like, okay, here's the thing about chickens. So, if you have chickens, and they get to the point where they decide they're hungry, this is why you have to make sure you're always feeding your chickens properly. If you let your chickens eat their eggs, they will start to get a taste for their eggs, and will always eat their eggs. At that point, chickens are the chicken is useless. You're better off killing it at that point and then eating it, because a chicken that eats its eggs it's not going to do any good for you, because it's not just going to eat its eggs, it's going to eat all the other eggs that are there as well. Let's see. Is he saying vegans are incels? Possibly. Kumas and vegans are mutually exclusive. Exactly, yes. You can't be a Kuma and you can't have a vegan at the same time. This is the point. This is the overarching article, point of the article. That sounds like a Beastars episode. That's a really good series. I'm loving that. This entire article sounds like a Beastars episode. Let's see. Chicken eggs are delicious. The chicken knows what's up. Exactly. If you want something fun, throw a chicken breast to a chicken and see what it does. Chickens are definitely they're very much omnivores. They don't care about anything. They will eat anything you put near them. If it looks like they can fit it in their mouth, they will eat it. Hey Will, how you doing? Country pro tips from Brodie. Feed your chickens early and feed your chickens often. You don't have to feed them often. Just make sure they have food. Like, if you put them in an area that has, like, grass and stuff on the ground, they'll be fine. But make sure you actually, you know, make sure they actually have food. Maybe the reason Luke hates vegans so much is because they use Pascal. I don't know. I feel like they probably use, like, JavaScript and Python. Feed your chickens. I've done it before. Yeah. They won't start eating each other because they're not that dumb. But yeah. Out where I live, people have chickens wandering in their yards and gardening, pecking scraps. They return to their coops at night to be safe from coyotes. Is there really something unethical in the mind of a vegan about picking up an unfertilized egg laid by one of these chickens and eating it? Oh my god, JavaScript, Ruby. Maybe Ruby as well. Yeah. Just like writing really bad OO code in Ruby. They use proprietary Borland Turbo Pascal. Is that a meme language or something? I don't know what that is. I know what Turbo Pascal is. I don't know what Borland Turbo Pascal is. Please don't genocide anyone. That's bad. Don't do that. I condemn that. Because that's what you have to do on the internet. You condemn everything. Vegans like arch users, they always have to tell you about it. I feel like the vegan and arch comparison is sort of the same thing. The people who complain more about vegans the people who complain about vegans and the people who complain about arch users talk about it more than the people who are actually using those things. A lot of the moral logic behind veganism falls outside of bugman capitalism. Fundamentally, it's another manifestation of general angst from lack of connection to the real natural world. I say this because most vegans are vegans because they are softies who have literally no connection to animals whatsoever, until as a teenager they watch a PETA documentary with chickens getting the heads buzzed off or pigs walking around in their own poop. This is actually a very weird thing, because pigs actually, they're quite smart animals. They always like to poop in the same spot, because they don't want to poop in their food, because, you know, that would taste bad. So they'll have, like, a spot where they poop. The only time you'll ever get them, you know, walking around in their own poop is when there's so many in an area, or you've got a pen that just hasn't been cleaned in a very long time. You had a bunch of pigs going through it. Chickens, on the other hand, chickens are absolute morons. They will eat the food, poop in the food they are currently eating, and then go eat the section they just pooped in. Because chickens are... they're just little dinosaurs, basically. There's nothing remotely intelligent about a chicken. It doesn't care. That's nutrient, it's gonna eat it. Literally think about the animals, When wild animals die in nature, they don't slowly slip away in the night, surrounded by their family. They die in starvation, or by being ripped apart alive by packs of coyotes. Would you rather die by getting your brains blown out instantly, or die of a natural death like this? I have a feeling I shouldn't open up this video. Farmer Brodie, exactly. Farmer Brodie. One day I will have my own rural property. One day. But to the original question, it literally makes no sense for a vegan to not eat or distribute the eggs a chicken lays. You're going to have to get deep into Marxist analysis to think that's somehow unethical. And once a chicken has living a long life of egg laying, why not quickly and painlessly dislocate its neck and eat it for dinner? If you don't, your cat will eventually gore it and it'll be a mess. Yeah, cats are also quite evil beings as well. If you let them anywhere near your chickens, they will eat them. Because chickens are not because cats are not domesticated. They might trick you into thinking they're domesticated, but if you let a cat go just anywhere near a wild bird, it will instantly go back into its, like, I guess, natural instincts and get into hunting mode. It will go after that thing, forgetting nothing of how to hunt, even though it has never been taught. Even just the most house cat you've ever seen, if you put it near a wild bird, it will instantly know how to go after that. Brodie will get his rural property and stream rants about vegans from his car to get an internet connection. That's the only problem I have with going rural, is that getting a decent internet connection is going to be difficult. It's not as hard as it used to be in Australia, but it's still pretty difficult. My cat just leaves the birds and does nothing. Doesn't even want to leave the house. That's probably because you feed it well. If you let your cat get a little hungry though, just watch it. It will do it. My dad had a rabbit as a kid, then a dog ate it. He never liked dogs afterwards. Dogs usually don't try it, unless they're like some of the more aggressive breeds. Dogs are usually not going to try to hunt something. They usually just want to play. The problem is that if you have a big dog near a rabbit, when a big dog plays, it's usually to the point where it's going to break the rabbit's neck. Are you cyberbullying me? Don't cyberbully in my chat. This is a no cyberbullying zone. The message will be deleted if in English. Well, I can't read it if it's not in English, so I can't help you there. I'm gonna, yeah, as I established earlier, I will get my lawyer on you if you cyberbully me. Mate, you're watching too much Beastars. I know Beastars is really good, but like, you don't need to bring up your furry anime here. I am enjoying the furry anime though. For anyone who doesn't know what Beastars is, basically, it's about a rabbit. Oh, sorry, it's about a wolf who wants to sleep with a rabbit. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna give you any more context. That's Beastars. Animals live to be eaten. This isn't even a metaphysical claim. Domesticated cows and pigs and chickens do not and cannot live as they exist in the wild. They've evolved symbiotically with us as sources of food. They can go feral and breed with a wild boar and the like, but their composition is based on their domesticated state. Actually, pigs are kind of interesting one when it comes to being domesticated. So if you actually let a pig go and, like, you know, go out, maybe it escapes your pen or something, it will very quickly start growing fur and growing horns. And it will basically go back to the point where it isn't domesticated at all. Pigs are a really weird species, actually. Beastars are really good, exactly. Could you remove your cap? Maybe. There's your ASMR for today. Lamau, imagine having Netflix. Lamau, imagine paying for anime. Wild game like deer have lived alongside human hunters for centuries. Their breeding habits and evolutionary dependent development is based in the fact that a sizable portion of their population will be hunted by humans every year. Yeah, this is you see this happen in areas that decide to like ban hunting. So there's areas, I believe California has a ban on like, is it bear hunting? Might be bear hunting. And anywhere you decide to like ban bear hunting, you get a quite large bear population that comes up. Same with deers, same with basically anything. Australia sort of has this problem where we have too many kangaroos. Most people sort of think of kangaroo here as like pet food, but kangaroo meat is actually really good, and I would like to see more people actually just like eating it themselves. It's a very gamey meat, but it is a very delicious meat. Basically, you have to cook it rare. If you cook it any more than rare, yeah, it kind of just, it gets very, very rubbery, I guess. That's probably the best way to put it. So you want to have it rare, so rare to the point where you touch it and it's just like, psh, bursts out in blood. That's how you want to have it. Pretty much you just want to like sear the outside. That's as much you want to do. Yeah, kangaroo meat is awesome. Exactly. I knew someone in this chat would be on my side. Bears will die as soon as they run out of food, though it will stabilize easily. That's true, except when you have bears near human populations. And they go through like trash bins and stuff. Because bears, they're quite capable. They're like raccoons. They're like really big raccoons. They will eat anything to survive. Like your dog. Or, you know, you. If you actually care about the environment, you would care for humans whose natural diet is meat. You would be terribly worried about the unintended consequences of severing one of the most important links in the food chain. What do we got here? Oh, Will, with the $5 donation to Brodie's hair funeral fund. Wait, did that? I think that would have played on the stream. We need some good lids on trash cans. Just, I don't know, if you live in an area with bears, would you even want to leave your trash can outside at that point? Or raccoons even. Like, if you have raccoons in your area, would you want to leave your trash outside? I don't think I would. Like, bin chickens are bad enough, but at least bin chickens, if you have a lid on the bin, like, they'll at least respect the lid. You know, because they can't lift it, because it's a bin chicken. Releasing domesticated animals into nature would be ecological terrorism. Adding to the natural population animals that have been selectively bred may literally lead a species to extinction. Well, yeah, Australia has this serious problem with house cats, where as house cats sort of escape, they will kill a lot of the natural, like, bird population and, like, small animal population. So it's a pretty big deal to like, let your cat roam free. Most people do it anyway, though. Are you really bold now? That is the question, isn't it? Dumb vegan sayings, you wouldn't kill it yourself. They say this whenever someone turns their eye away from an animal being killed in one of their vegan propaganda videos. Guess what? I might also turn away if I see a video of a sanitation worker wading through human feces in a sewer. That doesn't mean I'm a hypocrite for taking dumps in a toilet connected to the city sewerage. That is a really good point. Also, this sort of contradicts a lot of the argument Luke makes about not living in a big society. Hi, why? Exactly, that's why. Because if you were living in a, sort of not having to deal with killing the meat yourself, comes from the fact that you live around people who are doing it for you, and you can just go to the supermarket and buy it yourself. I turn away from when I see depictions of amputations of gangrenous limbs in movies too. That doesn't mean I think it's not medically necessary. Wait, Luke watches movies? Wait, what? This is news to me. Luke watches movies? Okay. Killing animals is actually a bad example of this, because while all cultures are disgusted by feces and amputations in most times and places, including this country before Bambi, killing animals is nothing any self-respecting man would react to. It goes without saying that there are many countries where people still recreationally torture cats and dogs. That's mean. Please don't torture things. Like, it's one thing to be in a culture where it's cool to, like, eat, like, cats and dogs. That's fine. I understand, like, the arguments against that, but if you do that, that's fine. I don't particularly care too much, but at least kill it in a humane way. Not just that. I meant farm animals. If there were wild chickens and we added our dumb human-grown chickens, may extinct wild chickens since they'd breed anyway. I don't know. I feel like the human domesticated chickens would probably die out pretty quickly. Because they're not exactly intelligent animals. Real programmers program in assembly and don't use protected mode. Yeah, that's very, yeah, sure. Just another random question. Have you watched the Showa Genroku Nakugo Shinju anime? Nope, I have no idea what that is. We hit people with shoes. Agree, India. Stop hitting people with shoes, India. Stop it. That's not allowed. Stop being mean. You've told me this multiple times. Stop hitting people with shoes. Read Chainsaw Man / Fire Punch? I actually read, like, the first 10 chapters of Fire Punch when it came out. Rakugo is a really good drama. I will check it out afterwards. Interesting fact. Charles Darwin admitted to torturing a cat as a kid. He said that he quickly regretted it. That doesn't surprise me. A lot of people around that time did really weird things. Only Kumas watch VHS. VHS won the format war because of porn. That sort of pushes forward a lot of stuff. I feel like that's the way that VR is gonna get to, like, be very mainstream. But you know, VR porn is kind of terrible, so I don't think it's gonna do too much. I don't say that to say that I'd be okay with killing cats and dogs, merely that the trained moral responses we have for them are very localized and subjective in our modernist viewpoint. but millennials have now been raised in a Disney fantasy land where animals think and talk like us and therefore must share the same feelings. Vegans absurdly imagine what it'd be like to live in industrial farming, as if a chicken's bird brain is having an existential crisis about living in a cage. I have noticed this. Like, if you're around any like pet owners, a lot of them will like talk to their like cat and dog, as if the cat or dog like understands what they're saying. Not just that it sort of can recognize the sounds you're making, and that it understands that sound should be linked to an action. VR porn is bad, talking from experience. I will neither confirm nor deny. That beanie is a new Linux tuber genre. Yes. If it wasn't so hot in Australia all the time, I might do it. Maybe I'll wear it during winter or something. I don't know, I might do that. Veganism is minimal or more self-sufficient. That's a good meme. Vegans have been fruitlessly trying to meme this one on me for forever. Starvation and death is minimal. I suppose so is at least true in that sense. Veganism is ultimately the diet of only eating inedible garnish that looks good on Instagram. It's edible. It's not great tasting, but it's edible, I guess. Raising most animals is easier and more efficient than raising vegetables. If it's too hot, potatoes don't naturally know to go move to the shade. Yams don't eat your overgrown grass. Onions don't poop out fertilizer. Tomatoes can't pull a simple tractor. You can't skin dead okra and make leather out of it. You can't grind up old mustard to make bone meal. That's not just something in Minecraft, by the way. Hey, look, he's making game jokes. Talk about Minecraft, guys. Minecraft. By the way, what about making Tech of a Tea live stream here? I've considered doing it live, but the thing I don't the reason why I don't do it live is because I like to edit things. Occasionally I will show something I shouldn't have shown or anything like that, and it just makes more sense to me to do it pre-recorded. I might do like a live episode at some point, but also because it's kind of hard to have a regular schedule when I want to have guests on. Like, if I didn't have guests, maybe it would make sense to do it live, but having guests makes it a bit of a challenge sometimes. Yes, I know, Hum. I know your dumb article is still waiting. I will read your article. This is just very long. Animals are an absolutely necessary point of any homestead in life and death. Listen, I like growing stuff. I like growing vegetables, but vegetables are just not real food. They are garnish, they are sides. They're only enjoyable insofar as they elevate your enjoyment of real food, meat. Have you had I don't think you've ever had a good vegetarian meal. I don't necessarily think you have to have every meal with meat. And a lot of people don't do that because, you know, meat's expensive in a lot of places. I mean, to be honest, people have made soundboards for their cats and dogs to use to talk to their owners and seem to have a good grasp of basic language and how it works. I don't think that's... I haven't heard about that. I know that has happened with monkeys. Maybe you can get something like that happen with animals. That doesn't seem like the case, though. If you can show me a video of that, I'll happily look at it, but from what I know, that doesn't seem to be something that happens. Have a viewers/patrons live stream Tech of a Tea. That might work. Maybe. I only eat meat like 1 to 2 times a week. When people ask me why I'm vegetarian, I just tell people I hate plants. And because animals eat plants, they are my friend. I like that argument. Yeah, I'll use that. Those are trained singular commands with base level combinations. The chance your pet understands you, especially without explicit training, is near 0. Yeah. Wait, can I find it? I'm gonna find it. Give me 1 second. Yes. Yes, here it is. There we go. Here we go. Here, we're gonna learn about monkeys. You ready to learn about monkeys?
Give orange me give eat orange me eat orange give me eat orange give me give eat orange me eat orange give me eat orange give me give eat orange me eat orange give me eat orange give me eat orange give me eat orange give me you.
There you go. Now you know about monkeys. I love that video. It's such a good video. In the past, I was eating meat every day, but because of health problems I got with doing that, I reduced. It's definitely healthier to not eat meat every day. I tend to eat meat every day, but I've had really good meals that don't have meat in them. It's just that I'm lazy, and meat just makes an easier meal. And yeah. Basically, a lot of my life comes down to Brodie is very lazy and will take the path of least resistance. People say that eating plants is more efficient because veganism is more efficient or environmental. It's definitely not more efficient. Just sticking a box of nuggies in the microwave is more efficient. People say that eating plants is more efficient because they saw an energy pyramid diagram as a kid, which shows how many prey animals are needed to maintain carnivorous animals. If we actually lived in a place where there was a calorie shortage, like a desert planet where greens couldn't grow, that might be an issue. It frankly just isn't here. We're not exactly running out of grass to feed cows. Most people are mowing their grass and throwing it away. Give me eat orange, give me you. Exactly. I had hippies for parents, so I've always been vegetarian, so just don't like the taste of meat now. I don't care if anyone else eats it, though. That is their business. Fair cool. But because I'm forced to reduce it, took me quite a while to get used to it, but now I enjoy it. I think that's going to be true really for any diet. Like, if you're forced to switch to a diet, like so, I don't know, for whatever reason, you suddenly gain a intolerance to eggs, and you're a sort of person who has eggs for breakfast every day. It would take you a while to, like, readjust to, like, another sort of, I guess, what's the word? Diet, yes. I want Iron Mouse's chicken nuggies. There are people who make really absurd environmentalist arguments against meat as well. For example, methane from cows warms the globe. I love this argument, it's great. Okay, fine, so what does veganism do about that? Are vegans going to kill the cows for us? Should we just let them starve in the woods since we can't harvest them for meat or even milk? What about all the game we won't be killing? Those 50% of the deer annually that we won't be killing, won't they be causing pollution with that huge amount of calories they need to frolic in the woods all day? Same with all other game. Most of those arguments are cute just so stories are cute just so stories, and they fall apart after examination. Anyone can just play that game. Look, give me hair, give me you. Oh lord. Give me hair, give me you. Exactly. Okay, what is this image here? Let's just laugh at this for a moment. Beef, 6.4 grams protein per 100 calories. Broccoli, 11.1 grams protein per 100 calories. That is a very misleading image. Did you see the seaweed diet farmers in Tasmania feeding did you see the new seaweed diet farmers in Tasmania are feeding cows now to stop cows farming so much? I did hear about that. Apparently it works. I don't know what sort of effect it would have on greenhouse gases, especially when, you know, most of the production in the world is done in India and, like, China. And without dealing with that problem, you're not going to address any other problem. So the cow problem is a very, very tiny subset of the pollution problem the world has. I want to do something. I want to do something, but I forgot what. Oh right, I remember. Time to watch BoJack Horseman. I need to go watch that at some point. I've watched a couple of episodes here and there. I haven't finished it though. I need to do that. So per 100 calories shows a deception so insane you should laugh. Whoever made this image wants you to believe that the piece of steak on the fork is equivalent to the tiny piece of broccoli on the right. You can compare the nutrition of both broccoli and beef at these links yourself. In order to get the protein in a single large bite of steak, you'll have to eat more than half a pound of broccoli. Good luck. Now you know why those poor, impressionable girls who go vegan bloat up. And that's only 100 calories, 2,000 calorie diet. Have fun. If you're famished, it's pretty easy to get a big steak with 2,000 calories, around a pound and a half for that matter. Pound and a half of matter. And it will fill you up without any bloating or stomach pains. You have to eat 12 pounds, more or less, broccoli or equivalent greens for that. And with all that fiber, you're just going to be pooping it all out. Yeah, the full natural vegan diet. I don't know how some people do it. Like, if you set it up well, it can be done. But you're not going to do it on broccoli. Like, this is I feel like Luke picked this image just for the purpose of making a point rather than... maybe he's trying to, I don't know, make some sort of point with this, or maybe he's trying to, like, make it seem like all vegans at this point are sort of making this argument, but I don't think anyone who takes the diet seriously is actually making the argument that, you know, eating only broccoli is the way you're going to survive. Are you guys still talking about cats? That is true, and I understand where you're coming from, but a human brain is exponentially more capable of learning in general in comparison to canines and felines. Furthermore, felines and canines are not evolved to socialize on a level on the level of humans. On a level humans do, thus having brains not tailored to detailed communication to begin with. If you want to see animals that are actually really good with communication, have a look into songbirds, because songbirds are actually capable of not just learning how to use the sounds they can produce, but they're one of the few types of animals that, like humans, are actually able to vocalize new sounds and learn new sounds. So, basically, the sounds that a dog can make are sounds that it is born with, basically, but a songbird, so something like a lyrebird, for example, is actually able to use its vocal cords to produce new sounds that it wasn't actually able to as it was born. That's why you have, say for example, parrots who are able to actually repeat the sounds that you say to them. So that's how you can get things like parrots cursing you out, for example. Did you see Bitcoin's 21E800 block? What? Is there something special about that specific block? And the answer is no. But if there's something special about it, we can look at it. Nutrients don't actually matter anyway. Oh god, this is going to be a fun one, isn't it? Plants don't have over 15 micronutrients. A lot of vegan autism gets focused on replicating the consumption of nutrients and minerals using only plants. The image above, in addition to being deceptive, is based on a flawed idea that human nutrition is about consuming particular amounts of particular substances as if we are a perfectly predictable machine or a video game. This just isn't a vegan problem. Basically, everyone implicitly has this idea. That's because this idea is sort of backed by scientific evidence. It actually occurred once a year. There is no magic, I guess. Oh, okay. I thought there was something special about that specific block. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has the main character being able to communicate with birds. That's cool. Is there any reason why he can do that, or is it just like, hey, look, birds? The reality is that those nutrients on the nutrition facts are a narrow realm of what might actually be relevant for the complex organ of our bodies. We have many organs. Additionally, there are many types of proteins and vitamins and minerals that the back of box doesn't account for. The vegan gamer saying we can get that too is utterly pointless when you realize we have nowhere close to a full idea of how the human body works. Only some plausible theories about the relationship between certain nutrients and what they seem to do. As in the case of some nutrients, like the falsely maligned cholesterol is a good example of something 2 generations of people were told to fear and reduced only for us to realize that our ideas about how it interacted in the body were arguably literally backwards. What are you guys even talking about right now? I have no idea what you guys are even talking about. Chat is off doing its own thing right now. Well, okay. There was an article someone else wanted me to read. What was that article? I know, Hum, there was the article you wanted me to read. If someone else has an article, we can go to that one first. Or we can appease Hum. And made a company for self-driving cars because Elon Musk tried to rip him off. Right, 2017 archive. Right, that's what we're doing. Wayback Machine. LukeSmith.xyz. Here we go. His language learning articles? Okay, we'll do that as well. Oh god, look at this website. Oh, look at this man. Look at this beautiful man. What? I always forget he had hair at one point. How do we navigate this website? Do we go to like... Wait, does he not have like a blog page at this point? Essays. Let's go to essays. Articles under essays. Okay. How an open media makes people more dogmatic. Oh, God. Oh, okay. This will... Oh, my lord. Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Why modern art is so awful. This web design. Yeah. Wait. Okay, so this is what the modern website looks like if you haven't seen it already. Just this is beautiful. Everything is written with plain HTML and CSS. There is no JavaScript, not a single line of JavaScript. Because JavaScript is bad, and JavaScript is the devil. The vegan post was really long, to be honest. Like, I didn't think it would be that long either. Let's see. Why modern art is so awful? Let's find out. Why is modern art awful? Is this going to be another 2-hour article? Maybe it will be. Maybe it will be. Historically, although this past seems long forgotten, artists were beloved founts of creativity in the eyes of the people. Their works, albeit not to everyone's liking. His old site used PHP, I think, for the menu bar. Oh, okay. It looks better. Yeah, but it doesn't look good. Albeit not everyone's liking, and demonstrated human and natural beauty and were loaded with accessible and intended symbolism with pride and talent. This is such a word salad. You can very much tell he was still in academia at this point with the way he's writing this. There was a fairly obvious point in time, perhaps at the turn of the 20th century, when this changed for the worse. Art became perceived as elite and snobbish. Public taste for art seemed to sour nigh instantaneously, manifesting itself in declines in museum and gallery attendance, along with art's new prestigious place behind the cold shoulder of those who lacked the special training necessary to appreciate it. The problem was not that an industrious populace, which was becoming more enraveled in material developments, had relinquished their useless interest in art, but art itself, in a way, simply betrayed the modern man. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't, but all of his old articles are actually still on his website. So he hasn't, from what I understand, he hasn't deleted a single article. So if you know the link to the articles, you can still get to them. Modern art is indeed genuinely awful and has only recently become that way. Still, modern developments in technology and culture do indeed bear important genesis of this occurrence. When is Brodie website available? When Brodie stops being very lazy. So I have no idea, because that's a very difficult thing to do. Although some would construe art as an entirely magical process of self-expression, art does indeed serve several important utilitarian purposes for the artist. It highlights his creativity and insight and bolsters his social standing. For the consumers of art, it brings visual or oral pleasure and also represents reality in a visual medium. Exactly, so never. One day it will exist. I cannot tell you when, though. See you later, man. Yeah, this article isn't as fun as I had wanted it to be. This article is basically just like... It's just the rambling of someone in academia. Okay, I will read your bloody article. We need to see if Brodie can out-boomer the master. No, that's never gonna happen. He is too skilled. He is too skilled in his abilities. Okay, let's find out. Why do real programmers not use Pascal? Why indeed? Luke trying to be Shakespeare. That seems to be the case. Okay. This is insanely long, and it's probably going to be really boring. Look for Jekyll to make website. That could be fun. I need to write better. My articles are awful, and I never update anything. Well, the never updating anything is probably going to be a problem. Back in the good old days, the golden era of computers, it was easy to separate the men from the boys, sometimes called real men and quiche eaters in the literature. Quiche eaters? Okay. During this period, the real men were the ones who understood computer programming, and the quiche eaters were the ones who didn't. Well, yeah, that's a pretty good dynamic. A real programmer said things like, do 10, I equals 1 to 10, and a bend. They actually talked in capital letters you understand. And the rest of the world said things like, computers are too complicated for me, and I can't relate to computers, so they're impersonal. A previous work points out that real men don't relate to anything and aren't afraid of being impersonal. Luke, yeah, I know he did. We looked at those in a previous stream, actually. Generalizing modern art with the garbage you see in art galleries is like saying modern music is bad. Well, actually, no. To be fair, modern music is terrible, but there's also terrible music in every era as well. It's not just an issue with what exists now. At every point in history, any form of art, there has always been the good and the bad. It's just that now, if you like the traditional sense of what art is, you're probably gonna be stuck up. Yeah, you're probably gonna be stuck a bit. Trump one, maybe. What Trump one? Oh, the article. Maybe we'll read that. What is exciting about this article? This is horrendously boring. Real programmers aren't afraid to use go-tos. Oh, go-to is a very controversial thing you can use these days. Because you never actually need to use a go-to. Some people argue that there are some situations where you need to. You don't. You can always restructure what you're trying to do to avoid the go-tos. Real programmers can write 5-page long do loops without getting confused. No. If you manage to do that, I'd be very impressed. but do separate stuff out so you know it's easier to understand. Why though? Exactly, that's the point. Functions exist for a reason. And even if they're not to do repeatable sections, they make your code base much easier to test. Break and continue statements are go-tos if I remember correctly. Well, you don't need them either. Those are also entirely optional. You don't need a break or a go-to. Real programmers write self-modifying code, especially if they can save 20 nanoseconds in the middle of a tight loop. Are real programmers just have no idea how to optimize? Is that how that works? Because you shouldn't be doing early optimization when you have no idea where the weak point of your code base actually is, because it's very likely you have no idea what's actually slowing down your code base until you actually do some code coverage testing. Did I skip it? Oh, I did skip it. I'm sorry. You need go-to if you don't want your code to be 50% indentation, from your if-elses. No, just use a function. When it comes to any art, most of the people with exceptionally well-made pieces are not considered, for their category to begin with for some reason. The game sector alone has outstanding artists. Exactly. But a lot of artists also don't get recognized until they die. That's one of the biggest problems of being an artist. Self-modifying code sounds like a debugging nightmare. Yes, don't do it. It's a bad idea. Real programmers don't need comments. The code is obvious. I really don't want to work with any real programmers because these sound like horrible people. Like, absolutely horrible people that just don't understand how to actually function in a team. I've also found PHP programs which have PHP code in the database, which gets selected then. Oh god, no. You can function use the stack to put the address of return and its variables and registers context, so you consume some precious space instead of jumping to another part of your code. Right, but that assumes that space is precious. And it's not. Now, if you're writing for, say, an embedded system, that's an entirely different question. But most people are not writing for embedded systems, and there's no reason to think that saving 10 nanoseconds or saving 10 bytes of memory is going to be a good idea, because it's much better. Continue to read the article and understand that real programmers don't work with you. I'll read the article. I'll read the rest of the article in a bit. I'm ranting right now. Good luck writing a complex program collaboratively without comments. Yes. Now, man, you know, self-documenting code. Self-documenting code is where it's at. Let's see. Data structures have also gotten a little press lately. Abstract data type structures, pointers, lists, and strings have become popular in certain circles. Worth, the above-mentioned quiche eater, actually wrote an entire book contending that you could write a program based on data structures instead of the other way around. That's a matter of semantics at that point. If it's based on data structures or based on the data in the data structures, it's the same thing ultimately. That's just sort of pulling at straw. Pulling at straw? Is that a statement? I don't know. I know what I mean. You probably know what I mean. As all real programmers know, the only useful data structure is the array. Strings, lists, structures, sets. These are all special types of arrays and can be treated that way just as easily without messing up your programming language with all sorts of complications. The worst thing about fancy data types is you have to declare them. Okay, a string is an array, sure. Now, depending on how you're defining a list, are we talking about an array-based list or are we talking about a pointer-based list? Because a pointer-based list is not an array. They are very different things. Because an array is a contiguous block of memory. A list, if it's based on pointers, is not necessarily. At all. What kind of program is operating system is used by real programmers? CPM. God forbid CPM. I don't know. I don't know anything about CPM. Let's go on. Unix is more complicated, of course. Typical Unix hacker can never remember what the print command is called this week. But when it gets down to it, Unix is a glorified video game. People don't do serious work in Unix systems. They send around the world on... they send jokes around the world on UUCP.net and write adventure games and research articles. When was this article written? 1983. Wow. That was a long time ago. Oh, I'm aware. Your real programmer uses OS 370. Okay. Well, I don't know about anything about operating systems from the 80s, so I can't really comment on whether that's a great operating system. What kind of tools does a real programmer use? In theory, a real programmer could run his programs by keying them into a front panel of the computer. Back in the days when computers had front panels, this was actually done occasionally. Your typical real programmer knew the entire bootstrap loader of memory in hex and toggled it whenever it got destroyed by his program. Back then, memory was memory. It didn't go away when the power went off. Memory was memory, yes. Linked lists are bad now. Should pack everything in arrays so they get pulled into CPU cache. Exactly. Yes. Everything goes... Actually, no, to be honest, for some situations, that actually is much better. If you can have it in CPU cache, you're better off doing so. Let's see. In some companies, text editing no longer consists of 10 engineers standing in a line to use a 029 key punch. In fact, the building I work in doesn't contain a single key... it doesn't contain a single key punch. Yes. Key punches. The real program in this situation has to do is work with a text editor. Whoa, look at this fancy technology. We have text editors now. Most systems supply several text editors to select from, and the real programmer must be careful to select one that reflects his personal style. Many people believe that the best text editors in the world are written by Xerox Palo Alto Research Center for the use on the Alto and Dorado computers. Unfortunately, no real program would ever use a computer whose operating system is called Smalltalk, and would certainly not to the computer with a mouse. Rip Lisp. Well, I like how Luke Summer talks about intricate details of computer science. Am I Luke now? Is that how this works? Oh, Lord. Okay, some programming tools... there's nothing I can really say about this. But... some programming tools not used by real programmers. Fortran preprocessors like Mortran and Rat4, the... whatever this word is, of programming, great for making quiche. See a comment above on structured programming. I don't know anything about Fortran. I'm gonna skip that. Source language debuggers. Real programmers can read core dumps. They should be able to. However, a debugger definitely does serve a useful purpose. Personally, in a lot of situations, I think people jump to a debugger way too quickly. In a lot of smaller projects, you're generally better off just doing stuff by hand. By this, I mean just use print statements. Print statements are generally going to be easier. Now, in a larger project, there are definitely situations where, you know, using a debugger is gonna be much, much simpler. But if you're, like, writing something very basic, like, it's too much work. Compilers with array bounds checking, they start creativity, destroy most the interesting uses for equivalence, and make it impossible to modify the operating system code with negative subscripts. Most of all, bounds checking is inefficient. Source code maintenance program. A real programmer keeps his code locked up in a card file because it implies that its owners cannot leave his important programs unguarded. I don't think there's anyone who would ever argue nowadays that you should not use source code maintenance programs, i.e. modern equivalents for this would be something like Git. Please use Git. Don't store stuff in a vault somewhere. That's a bad idea. Is there anything else I can say about this article? I don't think so. I don't think there is. Yeah, bound checking is evil, makes remote code execution harder. Yeah, mate, don't you want to be able to don't you want to be able to take over a system with no effort whatsoever? Oh lordy lord. Okay, let's go back to the loop stuff and see what we can find. You want to find out about ripping off credit cards? Let's find out. Is Brodie bold? Well, you know what? It's been 2 hours and 16 minutes now. Let's answer the real question. Is Brodie actually bold? Place your bets. Went for a break and came back. Yeah, cool. If I remember correctly, many game companies don't have the source for their old code. And that's why, oh, language... Right, language learning tips. Which article was that? Sorry? We'll do that one first, actually. This one. Yeah, this one. I bet my 0.5 bat he's not. What about other people? What do you think? Am I bold? Am I not bold? 5XMR or not bold? Yeah, he shaved off when he leveled up in Linux Foo. Okay, so we have 1 for shaved off, 2 for not shaved off. What about the other people? What do you guys think? Not bold? Okay, we're leading to not bold. One better. I bet 1 bat. See what happens in the supported Discord channel. He is bold. Maybe I am. Not shaved? Okay, a lot of you guys are leaning to not shaved. What happens if I actually am shaved, though? What are you gonna do? Hey, what's gonna happen if I actually do have no hair? Do-do-do. 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 Okay, because this thing is really hot. Let's do the big reveal. Is Brodie shaved? Not shaved, just bald. The chat delay is huge. Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Wow, look at that. Brodie's not actually bald. I just know how to use GIMP. My hair is very flat now. Oh, that's so much nicer. Oh my god. That thing was so hot. Why did I keep that on for 2.25 hours? What am I doing? Oh, Lord. That was horrible. Oh, that's so much nicer. Lord. Okay. Oh. Why did I do that? Why did I do that to myself? That was horrible. Oh my god. Which Linux stuff did you forget now that you have done that? Did taking the hat off somehow take my memory away? That's news to me. Oh, right, because I'm not bald now. Right, that's how that works. Yes, he's not bald. Yeah, exactly. Why would I shave my head for a meme? Anyone who actually... I know there was one person who did think I was bald on Discord. I'm just relatively decent at GIMP. Not very good. Relatively decent is the answer we're going to go with. Okay, let's see. I get asked a lot about learning languages. Are you a web developer? I have done a web development job in the past. I'm currently not, but I have experience doing so. It was as a React developer. And a Python backend doing Flask. Technically, I wasn't actually the backend developer. It's just that the backend dev was very lazy, and I had to do a lot of his own work. So, yeah, that happened. Asking if someone is a web dev is basically the same as asking if they're a masochist. Well, I'm not going to answer that question. I'll leave that up to your headcanon. I get asked a lot about learning languages, so I have a few comments about it here. Hopefully I can awaken you from some dogmatic slumbers about language. Soy dev? Yeah, I'm a bit of a soy dev. My favorite language is Python, so... You know. That's sort of what we're working with here. Vocabulary is the least important part of learning a language. Aha. This is hard for people to understand because I think most monolingual people think that languages are just a different word list that people use. As a result, 101 students will manually look up every word in the dictionary to translate. This actually increases the mental load of learning a language because some people have the idea that to speak it, they have to think of something in English, then translate the sentence word by word, then say that. What a pain. So what is a language if not words? It really is a set of constraints as to how how words can go. What order they can go in when modifying each other, but also languages are morphology. Verb endings and tenses and such are literally the most important part of a sentence. If you don't have a productive and reflexive use of verbs, you are literally just going to be reciting nouns you know like a monkey. What am I answering? Oh, yeah, no, I'm not answering that question. Maybe you should pay me, but otherwise, no. Money is good. That's why web dev is good. This is actually why I recommend learning Romance languages or German to use Michael Thomas's audio. Thomas doesn't lecture at all about what he's doing, but he focused only on using verbs and building up basic expressions from the bottom up until it's understood reflexively by students. To actually learn any language, this is more or less what you're going to have to mentally do anyway in the process. I would say it's actually possible to fluently speak a language knowing only about 50 words. If you understand the grammar of a language, you can basically get by anywhere with a couple dozen words only. What words you don't know can easily be figured out, but you can't wing it with grammar. You can't wing it with morphology. What? I get the argument he's making about grammar being very important. That I fully understand. But this? Well, depending on the language you're speaking, because a lot of what you're going to be hearing isn't going to have a direct object you're referring to. So, say you're looking for a train, maybe you'll understand that from context what the word for train is, but a lot of the words you're going to hear, I don't think you're going to be able to pick up that easily just from verbal context if you only know 50 words. Now, if you know more words, that's an entirely different story. I do think grammar is very important. Grammar is incredibly important, but I think he might be overstating the fact. Japanese is the best language without kanji. No, Japanese is terrifying without kanji. That language doesn't even function if you remove the kanji. I mean, you wouldn't be able to have a conversation. You wouldn't be fluent, but you can get by with barely any vocabulary. Yeah, okay, that's fair. If you want to be able to, like, order food and stuff, you can get by, but I don't know if you'd be able to really call that fluent. Like, that's that's basically if you can... It's the same level of, like, quote-unquote fluency that you have if you just know how to, like, order food and things like that. I wouldn't call that fluent at that point. I would call that, like, functional. But fluency, I feel like, is a bit of a higher level, but it might just be him using fluency as a bit more of, like, a minimal understanding of it. I was able to have a 2-hour-long conversation with a dude in Colombia and myself, knowing only a handful of words from Duolingo. It wouldn't be a very exciting conversation, though, would it? Computer metaphor.
Granted, the same is true of programming languages as well. Weirdly enough, no one would think knowing a computing language means just knowing all the functions and variable names. The important thing is knowing the syntax of how you put the functions, loosely verbs, and variables, loosely nouns, together. After all, variable names are always different, and functions can be easily invented to or called from some obscure library. Someone who knows a language is someone who can use its syntax to produce novel expressions. If you take a Python script, replace its functions with C functions, it's still Python, it's just calling a bunch of undefined functions. People can only get away with even sort of believing this is the domain of human languages if you don't know enough and end up assuming that all languages just work the same. Language, high level, functional. You're talking about computer science, yes. Duolingo is it's good in some respects. It's really terrible for the way that it orders stuff, but if you're using it as like a vocabulary tool, there's probably something you can get from it. But if you're trying to like go from the ground up, I think relying solely on Duolingo probably is going to go kind of terribly for you. Maybe you could do it, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like using something alongside Duolingo is probably going to get you through it much faster, especially grammar. Grammar through Duolingo isn't going to go too well. Then what is a language? So really, when you learn a language, you can't look at it as a series of words, but new patterns of speech that interact in a logical way. Speaking fluently in that language means being able to use and combine its basic instructions into complex thoughts, put in words. This is why I'm really against translating in your head. I agree with that. That's from what I've understood. The idea of trying to translate stuff in your head isn't going to go too well. You want to have more of a intuitive understanding of what the words you're trying to articulate and trying to understand actually mean. If you're doing that, you're not actually using a language. You're teaching yourself a silly English word replacement game. I know it's very hard for word thinkers not to think in words, but if you can't stop doing that for a second, you're not going to be able to learn a new language. As long as you know how to say beer in different languages, you can do the whole pub thing right. As long as you know how to say beer and know what the number system is in the language, that's all you basically need. Actually, no. You don't even need the number system if you're in a place that uses cards, because you can just pay with your card and not care about how much it costs. But if you need to like work out how much money to give someone, knowing the number system is probably going to be helpful as well. Okay, so you will not learn a language by consuming media. Another beer is all the language anyone needs to survive. Exactly. Yes. I don't think anyone thinks you will learn a language from consuming media, but there are definitely benefits to doing so. One being the idea that you can actually hear the sounds being produced in that language, especially in a language that is so different from your native language. Like, for example, in my case, Japanese. There are sounds produced in Japanese which do not get produced inside the English language. For example, like the nari-ru-de-do. All of those sounds don't exist in the English language. And they're like a weird combination of like L as an R and B. And not being able to... And by consuming media, you're going to get to the point where you can actually distinguish those sounds. And that's something that actually will be kind of useful for actually getting you somewhere. It's hard when you're not immersed in the language. Thanks to VTubers, I use enough Japanese that Google has been serving me Japanese ads. Yeah, for a while I actually was getting like Yahoo Japan ads on my phone. Or Yahoo Japan News, I guess. Like, okay, I'm not going to read this, but sure, that's cool. There's this lazy idea that somehow if you passively sit around and watch people using a language, that this will somehow endow you with the ability to flexibly produce a language in the same way and see the same way you see others using it. People want to believe it because they want to be able to watch TV or play a cell phone game like Duolingo or valueless Rosetta Stone like software and somehow gain competence in a language. Yeah, that's true. If you're just passively sitting around, it's gonna help you with obviously the understanding of sounds, but you're not gonna learn a language just by listening to, like, I don't know, one of Sencho's stream in the background or something. Google started offering me Filipino, Nihongo, and English as language options. That's cool. I've got my phone just running in Japanese at this point, so it kind of assumes that I want everything to be in Japanese right now. So if, say, I play an English video, it automatically enables the subtitles. It's not going to happen ever. Learning to play a boring video game using words from a different language, not the same as learning to speak the language. Now, I agree with that. But if you're using something like Duolingo for the sake of, say, learning vocabulary, there's value in doing so. But also it depends on, say, if you're just using Duolingo, for example, or you're just using Wanikani, or you're just using Rosetta Stone, you're never going to learn a language. I think really what you're going to have to do is actually put the effort in. That's sort of my, the hill I'm going to die on. You have to put effort in if you want to do something. You might say that, you might say of just listening to speech, that's what children do. But that's not true at all. Children try pretty hard to participate and understand the conversation. They sometimes have a desperate doesn't. Now, yeah, someone was saying he actually has an argument against, like, mass immersion. From what I'm hearing right now, he's not making an argument against mass immersion. He's making an argument against, like, passively listening. At this point, at least, he hasn't said anything against, like, doing the mass immersion approach, which, I don't know, maybe later in the article it's going to say something about that. Basically, mass immersion is the idea that you're always listening to the language you're learning, and you're going to, like, actively study it, like actively try to understand what's being said, you know, like a child would when they're trying to learn their first language. Obviously, not, like, actively studying it, but, like, actively trying to sort of piece together what's being said. Do you have any good number for the hen manga you recommend? Not off the top of my head. Oh, he gets into it later? Okay, let's have a look at it. We'll see that later then, I guess. Are you actually thinking? If you want to know if you're actually learning a language, ask yourself that. People are weirdly afraid against actually thinking through things and making new expressions of the language when that's exactly how you learn. So this is the idea that, you know, vocalizing a language that you're learning is going to be a good way to learn it. I think that's a good idea. If you're, say, learning vocabulary, for example, learning how to piece that vocabulary together with the grammar you know is going to help you sort of cement what you know. A lot of language nerds love to email me about their Anki cards or their harebrained schemes for mass memorizing words as if they're an Asian studying for a chemistry test. Given what I've said about learning words, you can guess my opinion on that. Once people abandon the lazy route, sometimes they take up the Via Dolorosa, the route of suffering, and assume that training themselves like a Pavlovian dog will help them become fluent in a language. I'm not sure how he's, like, okay, so I understand, like, the argument that he's saying with focusing on grammar, but I'm not sure how he's assuming you're going to learn vocabulary if you don't do studying of vocabulary. I get focusing on grammar first. That I fully understand. But you're still going to have to, at some point, study vocabulary if you want to learn vocabulary in the language. Like, even if you're learning, like, if we go back to the computer programming example, if you want to learn the functions to call, you will, at some point, even if you understand fully the syntactic structure of the language, at some point you're going to have to do some bit of research into the functions you can call. In reality, the only question that matters is, are you actually thinking, are you actually going through the mental process of creating new sentences in a new language? I don't have anything to disagree with there. When I was learning Latin, obviously I had no Latin-speaking friends and could barely get my hands on anything Latin-related. but after I learned the basics of the language, I started thinking in it constantly. First, that starts in my always implicitly translating English song lyrics or ads in my head into Latin. That's actually difficult if you're dealing with some modern and idiomatic, not as bad with church songs. Didn't he just earlier talk about the idea that translating was a bad thing? Maybe I'm misunderstanding that, but I think he's sort of contradicting the earlier point he made. As time goes on, I would overtly be remembering things in Latin sentences instead of English. If I mumbled something under my breath, I would make sure it was Latin at all points in time. I was thinking about how the language was structured and what it meant to produce sentences in it. If you go look at, say, for example, the language content that Matt vs. Japan, Matt vs. Japan does. A lot of his stuff mentions the idea that you don't really think in a language. You think in a more abstract concept, and that sort of maps onto the language you know. Whereas the idea of thinking that you're thinking in a language is a bit more of a... It's not really digging deeply into what you're actually doing at your... I guess at the level of your mind. Are you guys just talking about dojins in my chat? Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't know what the video that I'm referring to was called, but if you go just watch some of his language learning videos, I think maybe if you look up, like, you don't think in language or something like that, you might find it. The sad fact is that most people who want to learn languages in school treat them as advanced crossword puzzles like games, where they don't actually think in the language, but have hilarious mnemonic devices in their head for relating what they want to say in English with something in language they're learning. Yeah, I think mnemonics do make sense for the early stages when... At least it's the experience that I've had. The early stages of trying to remember the symbols, I think mnemonics do help. But you want to have your... the point of a mnemonic is you want the mnemonic to stop being important. If you're always trying to be like, what is the kanji for rice paddy? Oh yeah, it's that one that kind of looks like a rice paddy. Or, say for example, if you want the kanji for early. The kanji for early has like it's a sun, and then below the sun there's a cross. So it's sort of like the sun is rising over the cross. But you want to have those mnemonics, like, fade away. And you want to be more thinking in, like, the actual, I guess... I should want to... If you're going to be thinking about concepts in different language, you want to be more thinking about the different language... What am I saying? Don't translate stuff is what I'm saying. The best way of learning a language, in my opinion, is reading and talking with natives. Yes, exactly. Play VR chat. VR chat is a good way to do it. Yes, there you go. That is the kanji. That is the kanji for rice paddy, and then hayai is that's the adjective form of early. The way I learned English was just having it forced down my throat by memorizing every form of every verb. Jesus. That's terrifying. Rote memorization is a terrifying way to learn anything, but children can do it because children have very malleable brains. Hi from Australia? Hello? Where are you? Depending on the situation, I catch myself thinking in English or German. I never actively control that. Let's see. Translating is a bad habit. If anything, you should become worse at translating the further you go on, and more independently you can stand on your own in another language. Yeah, there are some concepts that just don't particularly translate properly. For example, like taihen. Taihen is a Japanese word. How do you describe taihen? Like a difficult situation, bad situation. Like sort of like yabai. Like, there's not exactly a direct translation you can go with.
Southeast Queensland. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, language learning in schools, I've never had a good experience with it. Like, when I was younger, I did a year of German, and it was just rote memorization. Personally, I don't have any problems with the pronunciation of Japanese. What is your native language, though? I have no idea how I learned English, but it seems like I can use it to make you do what I want. You can do that, Hum. That is true. It seems like people who say that English is their second language are always better at speaking English than native speakers. But I think most people are better at speaking English than Australians, so... Latin is a good example. I can read and comprehend Latin very well, but if asked to translate what I'm reading, I find that more difficult the better I read Latin. Now, it's easy for me to report the meaning of a passage, but phrase-by-phrase translation is something you have to think through, because English and Latin are structured very differently. This isn't just word order, but even how a Latin speaker approaches expressions, and the kinds of phrases that you can translate only very delicately into English. I don't know what that first kanji is, but that's... Second one is the kanji for rice paddy. That is... Oh. I know... I know... Okay. Thank you. Yep, that's Usada. I don't actually pay attention to the kanji form of the Hololab members. From experience, you learn language the fastest and most solid when simply having the need of using it. Your brain will adapt the fastest, making the most of the information you get. Persian. Usada Pekora. Lord. Yes. Usada Pekora. Peko. I never even tried to learn English. English sucks. It kind of does, doesn't it? But in Australia, we don't speak English. We speak some, like, malformed, English-like language. But yeah, as Luke was saying here, translation and being able to understand a language are very, very different skill sets. Okay, actually, it's sort of like... Okay, here's an example. It's sort of like if you are for example, a good like soccer player, for example, or football for the Europeans. It's not like you just suddenly have an intuitive knowledge about how to actually train someone to play football or how to actually coach a team. Being able to do the general skill doesn't necessarily mean you have the ability to actually I guess bring that knowledge to someone else. Kusa means lol. It also means grass. Internet slang is just a weird thing. Linguistic degeneration. We can just keep adding more memes into it and constantly making it more difficult. Oi, mate, want to go to the Bottle this before the footy game? Oi, mate, want to go to the Bottle the Savo before the footy game? Let's get some darts. Get some darts when we get some petty. Grab a bowl of piss on the way as well. There you go. People socially accepting the language they use to deteriorate. I don't know. Sambog means sex. I like how you had to, like, misspell that so YouTube doesn't hate you for it. The problem nearly doesn't exist between English and Spanish, which are basically the same language. I'm sure someone who only knows Spanish will feel like English and Spanish have many differences, but the context of our languages, like Latin or Chinese or Japanese, it's not hard to view English and Spanish as having basically the same kind of syntax 95% of the time that actually goes for most modern European languages. Yeah, I can see that probably being the case. Filipino borrows tons of words from Spanish. Okay. But if the two languages you're looking at have a similar grammatical structure, I can't see why there would be any difficulty trying to like translate directly between them. You sound stupid if you don't sound stupid. You sound stupid if you don't sound stupid. Okay, let's see what he's getting at here. I can understand half the things Iron Mouse says in English. I can understand 0 of the things that Iron Mouse says in... Did I say English? Spanish, I meant. I can understand half the things Iron Mouse understands in English as well. Yeah, I don't know Spanish, so I don't know what she's saying. She's just rambling about nothing. Every language has its own set of phonological rules that determine what particular sounds are said and where. Phonological rules give us our accents. When someone speaks English in an accent, they are really speaking English using the phonological constraints of whatever language they're more familiar with. If they speak English competently, there's at least some extent to which they are abandoning their native phonological rules. If you speak English competently, there's at least some extent to which they are abandoning their native phonological rules. But what if you're in a native English-speaking country? That was not a very well-thought sentence. When you first start learning a language, you might read something aloud and say, I sound stupid. This is because your natural way of speaking, obviously to say everything with an accent consistent with English. You can probably remember the apathetic jock in Spanish class or whatever who religiously pronounced every Spanish word he mindlessly read with an almost intentionally non-Spanish accent. Let's see. What can I say in Japanese that just sounds really dumb with a really bad accent? Nihongo. I think that's... Nihongo. I can't even pronounce stuff that badly at this point. Nihongo. There you go. Nihongo. Chugoku. Your local English isn't the same as standard English. Yeah, I'm aware. But I think the point he was making there was that he was talking about like people who speak English as a second language, but I don't think anyone speaks standard English though. Aussies have to abandon their native Australian rules to speak English. Even if we do, English is just Australian English is sort of like very nasally. Brodie confirmed jock. Yeah, look at me. I'm gonna do a workout video like Mental Outlaw. Actually, that Mental Outlaw is like an actual Chad. I will not be mean to Mental Outlaw. He would beat me up. Yeah, the point Luke was making here that you should sound stupid when you're learning a language, and you should be vocalizing early. That's, I think, the argument that he's making. Most of the languages like Russian are understandable for Persian people, anything except English. My local English is different from standard English. I speak English as second. Your local English has cleaned up a bit from you speaking in this stream, in your streams recently, because in the streams recently, because when you first started talking, I could barely understand a word you're saying. I think you've sort of structured it now in a way that everyone else can understand. Mental Outlaw could snap you in half with one hand while compiling Gen 2 with the other. Yeah, that's why I don't want to be mean to him, because Mental Outlaw is a beast of a man. I don't speak Chinese or Japanese well, but I do recognize that a big part of English grammar is basically a subset of German grammar. The expressions used in one are just not common in the other. Well, a lot of English words are very much adapted from a lot of other European languages. Mainly because of, like, you know, the English conquering most of the world. Mental Outlaw runs Gen 2.
Yes!
To actually speak another language is to adopt the phonological tendencies and even the prosodic and the tonal traits of that language. When you initially do that, you'll probably sound very stupid to yourself, since violating
phonological rules you're familiar with always sounds wrong. If you do overcome that illusion of felt stupidity, you won't sound stupid when it counts. If you refuse to improve your accent immediately and from the beginning, you will sound like an utter moron forever. So the argument here he's making is basically understand how the sounds in the language should be structured at an early point. Otherwise, basically, you will always have like the foreign accent, and I completely agree. That's one of the things I focused on early on when I was learning hiragana. Every time I would go and actually learn some new part of hiragana, I would very much focus on how does a native speaker actually say this. I'm still not very good, especially with like the da-dee-doo-da-do, because those are very weird sounds to make. Da-dee-doo-da. You have to have your like tongue in like a weird spot in your mouth that just isn't really how you would ever place it normally. You get better over time, and I think I have gotten a little bit better at it, but if I didn't focus on that earlier on, I would have no idea. I'd probably pronounce it like ra-re-ru-re-ro, which is not at all closely, or la-li-lu-le-lo, which is also something that tends to happen as well, but it's like somewhere in between. Ra-di-lu-de-ro. Also, the alcohol isn't helping me pronounce it properly either. And the more I think about it, also the harder it gets to pronounce. There's actually a trick too. When you imitate a foreign accent, you're actually implicitly adopting the phonological rules of their language that you have noticed in real life. My suggestion is that when you're starting out, read the other language in what you'd guess would be a stereotypical accent of the person speaking the language. If your imitation is good, you're speaking their language without an accent. Exactly. I find the R sounds closer. Sounds are closer to a D. It's like an R, L, and D sound. I think it's been described to me as like 40% R, 40% L, and like 20% D, which is a bizarre combination that just doesn't make any sense to an English speaker. This point here, I think, could be very well quickened by listening to media in the language you're trying to learn, rather than trying to like adopt a stereotypical accent, because unless you've actually been to like the country that you're trying to learn the language of, adopting an accent that sounds like the accent you're trying to go for is going to be much harder. But if you've actually consumed media in that language, I think this problem is going to be much easier to address. A rolled R, aspirated roll R, and a palatal R. I'm not sure what a palatal R is. The critical period is fake. Okay, what is... Let's see. That reminds me. There's an idea in academic and clinical linguistics, as well as a popular culture, that children have a magical plasticity of the brain that makes them uniquely good at learning languages. This is supposed to be the reason why children learn languages fast and adults don't. I feel like this has been demonstrated in multiple studies before. Again, thank you, anime. Around 500 of them. I've said how much anime I've watched before. It's too much. It makes more sense when you pay attention to what your tongue does when you talk. Getting hyper aware of your tongue moving while talking is a bit horrifying, though. Yeah, that's one of the weird things about that trying to vocalize sounds that don't exist in your language. Like, for example, like a, I, U, E, O. That's fine. They sound relatively close to the English equivalents, but like some of them, it's just, yeah, you have to pay a lot of attention, and until you sort of get that to the point where it's like naturally understood, it's just weird. So I think it's a myth that children learn fast. You don't have to send me all the proof about this. Don't worry. The University of Georgia and Arizona would have failed me totally if I hadn't seen it in my seen it for my linguistics degrees there. I sort of assumed that this was true for years, but on further thought, I think it's just a conspiracy of irrelevant data and copes.
or at least it's not nearly as true as people pretend it is. Adults are just as capable of learning languages in most senses. Sucre bleu. There you go. That's my really bad attempt at pronouncing that. After all, think about it. Children actually take several years to function in a language, which is often longer than an adult knows what he's doing. The Michael Thomas style tapes, which I alluded to above, are good at giving an adult a passable diving board for a language in about 8 hours. It can be done, you can also give an adult a crash course on phonology and articulatory phonetics that will make it easy to understand and with practice produce the sounds children take years to master. Now, I think this is sort of misrepresenting the argument being made. Part of the reason why you can learn a language much faster as an adult is because you have this already existing bank of concepts where you can sort of feed upon. Like, for example, if you don't understand the word for, say, car in Japanese, but you understand how to describe a car, that will make it much easier to actually obtain that word. Whereas a child probably doesn't understand the simple concept of what a car is yet. So sort of mapping that concept to the word itself is going to be much harder. The motivation of a child and adult are utterly different. A languageless child has a lot of reason to invest most of his mental life in attention to language. Apathetic adults don't. I've watched too much Initial D not know the word for car. Yeah, kuruma. Yes, exactly. That is the word, but it can be read in many ways because kanji. Like if you put it, for example, it's also part of the vocabulary for inside the car. So that would be like shanai. Brodie, do not repeat it our sounds unless proper training, listening, whatever that says. Also, when an adult is learning a language, they're putting much more specific effort into doing so, whereas a child is very much passively listening. Oh yeah, here you go. You got densha. Densha. For electric train. I love the kanji for, like, electricity. Like, that is such a cool looking kanji. I'm gonna put it on screen if you don't know what it is. Here we go. How do I zoom in? I forgot my keys because there we go. No. No, let me copy it. There we go. It's such a cool looking kanji. If you had a RPI Pico, how would you say I love Pico in Japanese? Maybe you would say it something like, I don't know, Pico wa daisuki. That's one way you could do it. I'm not giving you what you want. You're not getting the rest of it. Luke Chan already mentioned that children don't listen passively. But they do though. Like usually children just playing with blocks and then listening to sounds in the background. What I really get sick of is doomer adults who cope with their laziness by talking about how hard it is to learn a language as an adult. Many adults still learn languages all the time. There is some circumstantial evidence that infants cue into some acoustic cues and other things quicker than adults. But I think in most cases, just looking at infants semi-consciously, honing in what details you've acknowledged to be linguistically relevant in reality, developed humans have huge institutional intellectual advantages to learn. Okay, now, I know what you're trying to do to me. The thing, if you're using the, if you are using pronouns in Japanese, you have no idea. That's the first indication that you are a foreigner who doesn't know how to speak the language. Like, watashi, boku, avoid them. Avoid them unless absolutely needed, because Japanese is a language with a lot of, implied context. Like, you don't need to say, like, boku wa genki desu, because it's very implied that if you're the only person speaking, you're just sort of referring to yourself. Or if you, like, if you say, like, genki desu, if someone asks you, like, genki desu ka? Genki desu. Like, you don't need to say the boku part. The boku part is completely unnecessary. Or, even worse, watashi. Watashi wa genki desu. Completely useless. Don't do that. This is 2 months of learning the language. And I understand this, that, you shouldn't do that. But it's a good meme. It's a good meme. We have no gender in Hindi, but a hidden gender male and female. What do you mean a hidden gender male and female? I don't know what that means. Sounds cool, but I don't know what it means. I have no idea what it means. Connor just spams watashi while speaking to his Apex friend. Okay, Connor is memeing. Brodie is trying his best to not admit his love for Shota Yaoi. No, it's definitely Yaoi, not Yuri. Because Shota Yuri doesn't mean anything. Ahoy! But yeah, Connor's live streams with his Nihon no Tomodachi are basically just a meme. He actually can speak conversational Japanese fairly well. He just chooses not to because it's funnier. And, you know, speaking very loudly into your mic, being like, Tomodachi. Watashi wa furagu desu. Oh, Miko's 3D stream. I might check that out afterwards. I probably won't. I'm probably gonna go to bed afterwards. Time to open Hollow Tools in another tab. What is Hollow Tools? Let's find out. Hollow Tools. Oh, it's a multi-stream tool. That's kind of cool. Tatakae! Exactly. We only have one word for he, she, and that, which is waha. Waha. And only the verbs and nouns take gender endings, which are only male and female. I only watch one stream at once though. Why would I use a multi-stream tool? There's only so much attention Brodie has. The only Japanese word you know is tatakae. Oh no, you're someone else. Sorry, I can't even read. Kangaroo no yoni. You know what? I don't understand why people play Neptunia games in English. That's a bad idea. The Japanese voices are much better. I wonder if there actually is a Japanese word for kangaroo, or if it is just the loan word. We'll find out. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna do this right now. There might, because I know like Smuffle is like the word that's usually used for a smartphone, but there actually is a Japanese word for it. No, sadly there is not actual kanji for kangaroo. Damn. But you know, the word for Kangaroo Island is kangaruto. Yeah, it is just a loan word, sadly. We need a new game, Luke Smith Simulator. If someone wants to make it, I'll play it. Luke Smith Simulator. Did you ever try to write a text editor? No, but it might be kind of fun to do so. We bought some kangaroo leather shoes from Ginza in Tokyo. Okay. Sure. That sounds cool. Let's see what other articles we have. And all right, right. Ripping off credit cards. We go to this one. And let's see. Oh god, this one's really long as well. The Japanese word for axolotl. Why? I'm gonna, you know, I'm just gonna put in Google Translate because that'll be funnier.
Oopa Loopa.
Oh, I love it. I finally wrote the best text editor ever. This was Vuim. You can see it over on my GitHub. Vuim is the best text editor ever made. 100% bloat free and designed to stop the user from bloating their system. Bruh. Yes? Oopa doopa. Wait. Kangaru. There we go.
Kangaroo.
Wait, that's my bad. I can't write apparently. Kangaroo, exactly. No. Kangaru. There we go. That much better.
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo. Kangaroo. I saw a script called bed in your script repo. It was something else, or wait. Maybe there's a script in there. Bruh, Genghis, not Genghis. I know how to type. I'm just tired. LSI Kangaroo. LSI Kangaroo. Okay. Well, I've done a video on this topic before, PeerTube and YouTube. Some people have asked me for information. So this is how we run credit card scams. In America, people... yeah, I own, BrodieWebsite.com. I feel like there's a much better URL I could get than BrodieWebsite.com. I do own, BrodieRobertson.xyz and TechOverT.xyz as well. TechOverT.xyz, I feel like is, that has a really nice ring to it. Let's see. In America, people are so notoriously dumb with credit and money that credit card companies can literally give out free money by the hundreds to attract new customers. For brainlets who don't bother to understand the basics of credit and debt, and the fact that you apparently have to pay back the money you spend, this is like a fly trap. It is what it is free money. Oh my god. Donarudo McDonaldo. Stop. Stop. Stop it.
Donald McDonald.
There you go. Are you happy now? There is your Naruto McDonald's. McDonald's. Do you ever listen to Laptop Caller featuring Google Japanese accent? No, but that sounds hilarious. Okay. Exploiting introductory offers. Many credit card companies have introductory offers like if you spend $500 on this card in the first 3 months, you get a free credit of $200. Yamete kudasu tobu. What? Yamete kudasu tobu. What? Am I? Oh wait. Oh, I can't read that apparently. Yamete kudasu topu. Oh, no wonder I can't understand it. It's busted Japanese. Yamete kudastopu.
やめてくだストップ。
Anyway, exploiting credit card companies running a credit card scam. It did. I thought I was just forgetting how to read hiragana, but no. It's just that is gibberish. Okay, so. That'd be cool in the first place, but since there are so many cards that have introductory offers like this, a pattern emerges. Open a card with an introductory offer, for example, get $200 free credit if you spend $500 in 3 months. Use it for your normal life until you spend that $500. Get/redeem/spend the credit/cashback/points on that card. Literally free money. Disable the card and lock it away unless it has some other extremely good offer. Rinse and repeat, this time with a new card and new offer. Ugh. Every year I go through a couple of cards like this, making a couple hundred or $1,000 back. If you do the math, it can be like living with a permanent 20 to 25% 25% coupon off coupon that you use literally on everything. Individual cards will have even more perks to pump and dump for extra cash back. Jesus. I challenge you to shave your head live. Not for $0. I'm not going to do that. I don't know what amount of money would make me do that, but I'm sure there is a sum. Here's a brief list of some cards whose introductory offers I've taken advantage of. This is just an example list. There are many more. I don't think in Australia our introductory offers are anywhere near this good. I think a lot of ours are sort of far more tame. So in Australia at least, you're not going to be able to abuse this to the same extent. But it is still sort of hilarious that something like this can actually happen. 100 LBC? 100 LBC? That's not that much though, is it? Not 100 BTC. I'll do it for 100 BTC, that's for sure. No, 100 LBC. Let's see. 100 LBC price. What is it at right now? $10? Yeah. I don't think I'll do it for $10. So it's at 23. Jesus, it's at 23 cents Australian. So, wow, that's really high. Maybe I should sell some. I'd buy myself a car or something. It's $23 in Australia. I think I'm good. I think I'll keep my hair for now. You know, maybe for more, but no, I don't think I'm going to shave my head for $23. Maybe someone will, but that someone isn't going to be me. I don't know. Maybe someone else. Does actually put it on different sides of your ear? It probably does. Hey, not for $23. I'm going to shave my head. Let's see. Let's do a podcast episode about how a guy exploits various credit cards to constantly get free plane rides around the world Podcast called Darknet Diaries, really good. Boku no... I'm not gonna read that. I know what that says. You can't trick me like this. How about $24? Yes, someone will shave my head for $23. I can go to a barber and get my head shaved for way less than that. I can get it shaved for like $5 if I wanted to. Or, you know, I could just go to see my mother and be like, hey mum, shave my head for a joke. And she'd probably do it. Actually, she'd probably tell me it's a bad idea, and then she would do it anyway. So we have all of these credit cards where we can scam the credit card companies. Why do you take it as punishment? I do it every day. Well, I'm sure it wouldn't be a punishment after I shave my head once, but at this time, I currently have hair, and I'd rather keep it. Because male pattern baldness, like, does sort of run in my family, and I'll keep the hair for as long as I can do it. Note that the link to the Chase card, actually probably the most useful one, is a referral link. If you apply for that credit card at that link, I get $100 credit. Nice. Unfortunately, I can only use it 5 times a year. Otherwise, or else I could get filthy rich recommending credit cards on the internet. Either way, you can donate to me by donate to me by clicking it, and you can get $200 yourself with the bonus. Brodie's going to have his head shaved by the lowest bidder. No, I'm going to have it shaved by the highest bidder. What do you want about, mate? You don't run this auction. That's me. I am the auctioneer here. You do not decide how much I shave my head for. That's it. That's all you need to know to take advantage of this. But the rest of this page is detail that people ask about. Read on for more. Okay, this is the fun part. As I said, introductory offers exist primarily to get dim-witted people who don't know how credit cards work into using credit cards unwisely, or at least normal people into switching to a different company. They know that high agency people can exploit this system, so there are some rules that are put in place to mitigate the extent to which you can take advantage of their offers. Chase, for example, will not approve anyone for a credit card who has gotten 5 other cards in the past 2 years. Wells Fargo and will not allow you to open cards with introductory offers without an 18-month gap in between. Those are the main ones. Other banks like Bank of America don't bother preventing it at all. But it's possible that we'll start something like this soon. Trust me, it feels good to shave your head. It probably does. It probably makes you, like, much cooler in the summer. But also much more susceptible to, like, sunburns on your head. I suppose it goes without saying that credit cards are not magical money devices that, and everyone who has a credit card should only spend what they have the account that auto pays their card, or even better, do what I do and never let my head hit the pillow before paying off all debts. This might sound like a condescending thing to say, but obviously some people out there don't understand how credit cards work and are going into debt for no good reason. I know everyone who follows me is smart, of course, but I say this rhetorically. Well, I've seen some of Luke's comment sections, and the guys in this stream are smart, but I don't think everyone who watches Luke is a big 200 IQ guy. I think some of them might be a little dumb, at least a little dumb. When I did a video on this, I was surprised to learn that there are also people that resist and detest credit cards but still don't understand them. Some people have this strange idea that merely possessing a credit card causes debt to occur in some cultic fashion outside of your control. And for people who don't know better, maybe it's better for them to think of credit cards as essentially magical objects if it means they aren't misusing them. For everyone else, credit cards are easy to use and exploit and benefit from. So Luke is saying have rich parents. Well, if you just don't spend over what you have in your bank account, having a credit card is just no different from using a debit card at that point. Other advantage of having multiple cards. Hey, welcome back. It's actually nice to have a number of cards from different companies. I will occasionally check... Okay, that's not too interesting. Oh, here we go. But what about my credit score? Commenters are dumb everywhere, no exceptions. Yeah, I've seen some dumb people on my my regular videos. Usually they're not people who stick around. Usually they'll like say one dumb thing and then leave. But you know, everywhere you go, there's always going to be people who are not the most fun to be around. Yeah, we'll go with that. But my credit score. I'm not entirely sure why people think this, but there's this idea that somehow you're scamming or defrauding credit card companies by doing this. You aren't, you are just obeying their terms of service. You're certainly not neglecting payment or proving yourself a bad investment for a loan, which is what a credit score is actually about. Opening new credit, including credit cards, will mean an inquiry on your account, and for a time being, you'll be marked as looking for credit. This will decrease your credit score by a small amount. It's normal, but over time, having lots of credit which you have paid off is good for your credit score. That's like what a credit score is. But having more credit cards and properly paid off is a great plus on your account. People with nothing better to do. Yeah, that basically sums up people who leave really dumb comments. I really wish I had a mute button on this. I don't want to sneeze, like, into the microphone, and having to, like, turn down the volume knob makes it very difficult to not do that. Maybe I should just have a hotkey on my keyboard that mutes my mic temporarily. That could work. But that's unethical. You gotta be an extreme simp to see these companies as... they see these companies massively ripping off people and nickel and diming people and saying something stupid like, is this really unethical? You're an idiot. You don't deserve free money. Why use your principles to defend people who obviously don't share them? A lot of these companies charge people to have checking accounts just in case you don't know how banks work. They make money loaning out their reserves. They're already making money off every account, charging you extra so they can make money off you as just more icing on the cake for them. There are many banks who are less shills who simply don't do this because it's totally unnecessary. People who think this do go to the grocery store and chide people to get free sample... Wait. People who think like this do go to the grocery store and chide people to get free samples as unethical. It's quite literally the same thing, except the store never makes money off people who just take samples. A bank whose offer you exploit still might make a lot of money out loaning out money you put in a checking account, or even on the credit card transaction fees they charge merchants. And if they didn't, who cares? Yeah, man, rip off the banks. Who cares about the banks? They're already like multi-billion-dollar companies. If you can find some way to like legally rip them off, you might as well, because they're going to be doing the same thing to you. For example, in Australia, a lot of companies actually have, a lot of banks, at least pre-corona, had like transaction fees whenever you use like your debit card to like actually just use your debit card. Unless you're taking money out of your account from like an ATM, they would charge you for using a debit card. I think a lot of them have dropped it now, but hey, if banks are willing to like just scam you out of money like that, you might as well take whatever you can from them back. I wouldn't feel bad robbing a food bank. Please feel bad about that. That's a different kind of bank. We like the stock. We like the stonks. Stonks to the moon. Do I need a checking account? If you get a bonus from a Chase card, do you need a Chase checking account to redeem your bonus or points? Usually not. Every credit card company I've used allowed you to set up a automatic payments from another bank, so you shouldn't have to worry about remembering to pay your bills, although I usually pay everything manually just to be careful. Yeah, that's a good approach. Yes, I'm discriminating against banks. Please do not rob food banks. If you... And you're not a cat... I don't know what you're talking about. If you get an account credit, there will that will appear as a negative number on your card, and you'll be able to spend it without paying it off if you get points. It might be that you need a checking account to redeem it as cash, but you can also usually redeem previous purchases, or sometimes receive your bonus in the form of a bunch of gift cards. Yay, gift cards! Oh my god, this is still going. Jesus. This is a long article. This is a very long article. Oh my lord. We have been going for 3.5 hours at this point. Jeez. Okay, that's quite long, isn't it? I lost it with the video thumbnail. Thank you. I do enjoy the video thumbnail. I put a lot of effort into that. And I'm quite glad that some people got a level of enjoyment out of seeing it. The fact that that happens means that I've done my job well. Let's see, go here. Okay, makes sense. The problem is that the bank has more resources to outwit your schemes. No matter how clever you think you are, it's like trying to outrun the police. They will just send more police cars after you. Well, yeah, of course, but you can always sort of make the most of it while you can. And if you're in a position where you can get something back, it's better than just, you know, getting nothing back. But ultimately, hey, if you just take your money out of the bank, they can't charge you for it. So, you know, there are methods that you can store your currency outside of a bank, in forms of investment, but I'm not allowed to talk about those because that would make YouTube very angry. But, you know, our ultimate godly father, Luke here, has talked about those in the past. And, you know, Mental Outlaw's done a couple of videos on it as well. But I cannot make any recommendations because that would be a bad thing. Okay, there's nothing else too exciting in here. I'm gonna switch over to the back of my face. Will the live be saved? Yes, the live stream always goes back up on the channel, so if you want to go and watch the live stream after it's done, you can go and do so. Oh, my hat's here. I was wondering what that was in the back of my scene. Yeah, if you want to go watch the live stream as a VOD, you can do so. If you want to, it's cool. And that's 4 drinks done. Cool. I have 1 more left over, but I don't particularly want to go for a whole nother hour. Oh my lord. God. This has been fun. I enjoyed it. I don't know what I'll do for a stream next week. I don't know. Maybe I'll go and do like a Xenotic stream again, because it's been a while since I've done one. When are you going to take off the wig and show us your shaved beard? Yeah, mate, I've gorilla glued it on. I can't take it off. It's stuck there. Like, no matter what I do, I can't take the glue out. So, you know, my wig's on forever now. I'm sure you guys have heard about the girl who gorilla glued her hair because she's dumb. Exactly. See you later, babbler. I'm gonna open up a window because it's hot. Net hack? Maybe. There we go. No, you can. It's just that recommending investments is a bad thing, and YouTube doesn't like that. I can talk about it. It's just that I can't make any suggestions about things that you should spend your money on. That would be a bad thing because, you know, I'm not a licensed investor, and you have to be a licensed investor to talk about anything. NetHack? Maybe more NetHack. I don't know. I enjoy Xenotic as well though. Maybe I'll do an Ace of Spades stream. Yeah, that could be fun. I love Ace of Spades. It's just that Ace of Spades isn't... Ace of Spades just isn't a, it's not a great stream game. Because it's usually a lot of camping, but maybe it'll be good for just chatting with people. Because I do have, Open Spades installed. And the Open Spades client, it works perfectly, so... Or you could start Hollow Knight. I will do Hollow Knight on the gaming channel. Terraria? Also that. But no, tomorrow for anyone who watches the gaming channel, I have got Doom 2016 downloaded and installed, and that's what we're going to be playing. I've never played Doom 2016. I am very bad at FPS games. I expect this to go exceptionally well. Not at all. Not at all. I'll play it, and we're gonna die in the first fight, probably. So, we'll see how that goes. Terraria's for noobs? No, Terraria's great. Don't hate on Terraria. Ugh. Rip and tear. I think that's gonna be the title. Chainsaw Daisuke. I was trying to work out what I should title it, but I think that might work. Rip and tear, Chainsaw Daisuke. Maybe that'll be a title. I think that works. And for anyone who does like the original Doom, I will... Yes, okay, I will play the original Doom as well. At some point. Right now, I want to play Doom 2016, though. Because, I don't know, I want to play Doom 2016. I don't actually own the original Doom yet. I will buy it, and then I will play it. I cannot confirm when, though. Maybe after I finish this Doom. Maybe I'll play Doom Eternal afterwards, because I also own that as well. Make the title Chainsaw Daisuke Yubi. Bye, Boomer. See you later, man. Play the original Doom when you play Doom Eternal. Damn, I'm late to the party. Did Brodie find his bunker? Yes. I'm gonna hide under the desk. It's kind of tight here. I can't do it. The moment when Korone got the chainsaw in the original Doom was magic. Like, she's played the original Doom? Okay, I haven't seen that stream. Anyone who say anything else got an IQ less than 30. Yes. Imagine buying Doom, the engine is free, and part of 9 front, and the WOD can be found very easily. Right, but, you know, you can still support the developers. And it's a couple of dollars. I think you can afford it, Probably look very short now. I'm already not very tall to begin with, so this doesn't help my case. I'm not the optimal male height. I'm not 5'6". I am what am I, like 5'7"? 5'8", something like that. I'm not very tall. It's a great stream. It's 10 hours. The ending is epic. Confirm Brodie giving money to Microsoft. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Have you considered playing Doki Doki Literature Club multiplayer mod? What is that? There's a multiplayer mod? What does that even mean? It's a visual novel. What does a multiplayer visual novel mod even mean? We're gonna find out right now. This is gonna be a quiet life. Doki Doki Literature Club multiplayer mod. What is this? What am I trying to find out here? Is this a real thing, or are you just messing with me? Brodie is not 5'6". I'm not the optimal male height. Oh, 4'6". I'm definitely not 4'6". 4'6" is far below the optimal male height. Let's see. Sorry, I'm 5'8". I'm 5'9"? 5'9". I'm 5'9". I'm 5'9". That's much more than the optimal male height. True Brodie sound, exactly. This is what you've all been waiting for. This is the late night stream where we turn into an ASMR stream. I don't know how this sounds. It probably sounds absolutely horrible. And I'm trying to make sure the microphone doesn't clip, because if it clips, it's going to be quite loud. So let me know, how does this sound? How is the audio experience for all of you right now? Probably sounds very bassy, to be honest, because you know, when you get closer to a microphone like this, it gives like a what's the term for it? There's like a increase of the bass that happens. I don't know why it happens. Roll a D10 and a D12 to determine your height, and you roll a 1 on both. That's how you get a 4-6. I like to sleep. I do too, and I might do so afterwards. But I'm actually probably gonna go watch. I don't know. What do I have left over to watch? Let's find out. Let's see. I still have Nononbuyuri and Gotobu no Haneyome to watch, and also Yuru Camp. Not gonna watch all of them though. Hey Brodie, do a video on running Proton without Steam. Is that a thing you can do? I didn't know that. I thought you needed Steam to run Proton. I know Proton is just like a fork of wine though, so maybe you should. I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen after this. That is a really good series. Have fun with the baseball episode, because there's a baseball episode. Why is there a baseball episode? I don't know. Anime, that's why. Okay, this is enough ASMR.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that too. Because, I don't know, I might do that again. I have 6'4", so Brodie must be 6'1". No, Brodie is 5'9". I am below the 6 foot marker. True Brodie sound changes. I could have just like actually wait. I'm gonna try something even weirder. Here we go. If we if I crank the bass way up, this probably sounds horrible right now, but that's with my soundboard with the bass cranked as high as it goes. You can probably hear nothing right now. Okay, that's back to normal. I'm gonna watch Civi11 play Wolf 3D after this. I don't know who that is, but Wolf 3D does sound like a fun game. That's another game that I'll eventually play one day. I'm just sort of like dragging the stream out at this point, which is sort of what happens whenever I get to the end of the stream. I'm like, hey, should I end this? Maybe, and then I don't. Miko's outfit is wholesome. You should check it out before going to bed. I'll do that. Guy who plays boomer shooters are actually entertaining. Oh, okay, cool. Boomer shooters are good, and boomers who play shooters are good. I'm also going to Choco's old ASMR streams after this to cleanse my ears. That does sound like much better than me doing ASMR. Oh lordy lord, Terraria for the win. Exactly, Terraria is great. Dude, bam. Gas the Zoomer. No gassing Zoomers. Zoomers must live. The children are your future. Look, you gotta have more of a problem with like the Gen A's, the alpha generation, because they're all like playing Fortnite. The Zoomers are just here being like, yo, you millennials real dumb. It's the alpha generation that you want to have a real problem with. Play League on your gaming channel. Maybe. I've never played a game of League in my entire life, so I don't know how terribly that experience would go. Probably very.
Probably very terribly. I can't imagine it would go well at all. Yeah. That's very bright on my face now that I'm very what's the word? Sweaty. Yeah, that's how the English language works. I might have a shower before I go to bed, to be honest. That's probably not the worst idea. Gonna get some sleep. Night. See you later. Boku no Pico has a visual novel? Probably. If it doesn't have an official one, it might have a fan one. Because there are people who are actually fans of that series. Interesting characters. I don't know why. I don't know why you'd be a fan of that series. But anyway, I think I'm going to end the stream now. Sleep in your man mask and dream of being a lumberjack. That's an option as well, isn't it? Yeah. I think I'm going to end the stream now. You read manga? I do. Not much. But I have in the past, and I do at times. Here we go. Here's the outro. I think the last manga I read was like JoJo Steel Ball Run. Probably. And I haven't finished it. Wish you nightmares with big-eyed anime, Brodie-chan. Good night. Boku no Pico multiplayer visual novel. Why? Anyway, I don't know when the Doom stream will be. It might, when I wake up, hopefully I don't have a hangover. I probably won't, because I'm gonna be downing a lot of water before I go to bed. But I'm also very bad with hangovers. I can have like one drink and have a hangover. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyway, thank you to everyone who decided to show up. Thank you to everyone who decided to stick around to the end. And yes, I will watch and / or read Doro Hedoro because it looks cool. I watched the opening and it looks real sick. Thanks for the stream tonight. Thanks for the stream. Good night. Good night to you too, man. Thank you for showing up. Always cool to chat with people. That's the most fun about streaming. It's not the stream itself. Like, the stream content is one thing. But chatting with you guys is always the most fun part of it. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for making my night awesome. And I'm going to turn the music up. And we're going to end it. Ending. Enjoy your simping. I don't know what happened to the music there. It decided to, like, start double playing itself, but peace out.